heart. The ChampCar Endurance Series is about teamwork, persistence, camaraderie, and yes, endurance. And we celebrate that today in the ChampCar iRacing Series with 2025's first Team iRacing Endurance event. From Daytona International Speedway, this is the ChampCar iRacing 3 hours of Daytona. 3 hours of racing ahead of us for our iRacing teams from the ChampCar iRacing Series, many of whom are real-world ChampCar Endurance Series competitors looking for an extra dose of racing online here in the ChampCar iRacing Series. Gorgeous day as we look at those conditions, a 3.5-mile track that we all know and love well. It's the world centre of racing. We kick off with beautiful day, 96 degrees on that track, 71 degrees in the air, partly cloudy with a chance of some rain coming through later on, because there is of course 3 hours of racing ahead of us. To bring you live coverage here on ChampCar Live and HJBC channels, it's the three of us from HJBC, myself, David Haynes, Devin Peters and Michael Derby. Well, it's something that's been on the schedule since the very start of the year, that we were going to close out 2025 with a string of 4 team endurance races. And it is also never too late to join with 3 more to come after Daytona at some of our favourite racetracks. We start here at Daytona, but with VIR, Sebring and Road America still to come. Devin, we have been looking forward to this. The competitors have been looking forward to it. And race start is 16 minutes away.
Yeah, and it's perfect timing. A beautiful day in Florida, by the looks of things, and a good day for racing this Saturday. I'm thinking we'll have a good show put on for us by these GT4s. Folks might notice that the GT4s are a little bit faster than the ChampCar class in general, but we tried to keep it realistic. So we've only got 3 types of GT4s in here today: Porsches, BMWs, and Mustangs. All the sorts of cars you might see at a real ChampCar event.
Yeah, so if it's after midday on your Saturday and you crack a couple of cold ones and squint, you can see a Porsche Boxster, a BMW E30 or E36, and I don't know, maybe a Fox body Mustang. You might have to squint really hard, but that's sort of the intention of what we're going with. Some cars that are approachable and fun to drive, but should also represent the kinds of cars that you see around and out and about on the racetracks of the USA in the ChampCar Endurance Series. Let's have a look through some of our teams and who's going to be representing them. And you're looking at Lizard Brains Podcast at the moment. DJ Alessandrini, a moderately well-known name there, will be driving with Tom O'Gorman, perhaps another name that will be familiar to some. SimCity Racing has Ryan Puchtel, who was in the top 3 of the regular season races of the ChampCar iRacing Series this year, driving things like the BMW M2 and the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup car. He's partnered up with Chris Beats. Here at Zach's Hitman Emporium, Zachary Rubin is with Kevin Zhu. I've got a lot of drivers from Drive Trainer Motorsport. So this is Drive Trainer Motorsport Emerald, the number 8. Caden Parks Miller with LaShawn Young Dilworth. This is the hyphenated surnames car, the Emeralds, and it's a BMW amongst their 2 other Mustangs that we'll take a look at. Unless we're going numerical order here through the grid. So the 42 Drive Trainer Motorsports Ivory. Kyle Schuch is behind the wheel at the moment, sharing with Norris Halsey. And the Carbon Mustang that's giving everyone else the tow at the moment. It's Kyle Robertson and Bowie Suin.
Yeah, I've heard the drive trainer is getting all their drivers to come out and put in some practice in both the Sprint Series and the Endurance Series. I think they've figured out that more track time is worth an awful lot on the racetrack, more than even some of the cheaty parts you can try and bolt onto your car.
Backflip boys in the number 17 Porsche. It's a double Alex attack with Alex Mueller and Alex Coffard. I call the backflip boys because half of them can do a backflip. I've seen proof. I've seen proof, and it's not Alex Mueller. Oh, he's athletic in his own way, though. I think he plays some soccer and things. 2430 Esports. It's a red and white Porsche, the number 24. Sebastian Day and Jack Simpson. Sebastian Day driving right now. Over at Balthazar Motorworks, Bill Woods is driving the 13 at the moment, with Zach Balthazar of Balthazar name and Justin Woods as well. Teams can have 2 to 3 drivers, and in the Love Racing 647, Nick Love 3 and Nick Love 4. Lowered expectations, the number 2 car, Andy Kosick and Aaron Reed, drove together last year. Andy Kosick of Most Mint, and Aaron Reed of Working on Jet Fighters.
We'll see if any of that experience becomes necessary down the back straight at Daytona here today.
Project Save the Stang, powered by SRT. It's the Sennhauser Racing Team guys, Logan Sennhauser and Cameron Sennhauser, the brothers. Not to be confused with Jared Collins and Kevin Collins, the father and son. We have any cousins? Roommates? What else we got going on? So back, having run through most of the field, they are running through qualifying and SimCity Racing, and Ryan Puxel have gone to the top at the moment. Live timing is available wherever you're watching, be it on ChampCar Live or on HJ channels. The link should be in the description or potentially even in the chat. It's champcar.hjbc.live, as it has been all season. Lots of great info there. Chasing the Delta Academy / Sargento BMW Motorsport. It's Lincoln Fox and Aaron Myers. I think Myers is chasing the Delta, and Lincoln Fox is chasing the Sargento cheese. Lincoln Fox is real cheese people. I'm chasing the cheese. I got a lovely big piece of an aged Grand Moravia hard cheese the other day, and it's all gone because I put it in my cheese grater and I grated it on everything that I ate for a couple of days.
Powerful David Haynes. I have a feeling that in the off season, that might not be an uncommon activity for at least half the members on this team.
And I got it cheap because it was only 2 weeks away from its expiry, right? So I had the packaged on date that was 11 months ago and the best before date, which was 2 weeks after I bought it. What that means is it was aged an extra year for free.
That's how that works. That's why you never see alcohol on sale,
Still going through the qualifying at the moment. Not that I think it's going to matter a great amount with a 3-hour race. It's going to come down to things like strategy, keeping your car clean, and the long run race pace. You could move through the field very easily. Chasing the Delta do so. They move up into second right now. Lincoln Fox is driving the 48. Giving Love Racing a bit of a toe by the looks of things if I'm picking out the right car. Or do I have this the wrong way around? No.
I think you got that.
Yep. Now, Nick Love 3 is Nick Love. Nick Love 4.
I think Nick Love might be funding some sim racing efforts for some of his friends.
Yeah, last time they went racing with the two Love brothers and their dad. So I think Nick Love's made another account, and it's either for his brother or his dad.
Well, we've had a couple family-centered entries. I think you called them out during the team introduction there, but wouldn't be the first time that we saw that here in the ChampCar Sprint Series or Endurance Series this week.
So it's a chance that we might see some brotherly love.
It is a little unconventional to see the Sennhausers pulling in the same direction. Riding on with Andy Cossack here. Lowered expectations.
Tell you what, yesterday on the road I saw a Porsche Cayman GT4 RS, and there was a twinge of jealousy deep in my heart for about 10 seconds, because that was a really, really nice looking car in whatever the common Porsche yellow is. Real Porsche heads would say, yes, that is a fliegende Achtung Zeitung yellow.
Yes.
Flying warning newspaper yellow.
I'd have called it a Sargento cheese yellow.
I didn't have that teeny bit of orange that American cheese has. It was straight up, canary yellow. Exciting.
There's a couple of cars starting to put in some quick lap times. Lizard Brain's just gone and put in a purple sector, and so has Drive Trainer Motorsports Carbon, who's just crossed the line, actually. I think Carbon was able to bump themselves from 6th to 5th. And they're going through the first turn now. If Alessandrini behind the Lizard Brains wheel manages to keep things going, then I think he might have a quick lap here. Ooh, tough trip through the bus stop though. That's gonna hurt things a little bit. From on board, you can see some of the wet spots out on track today. It is not raining, but it has recently rained. And so the drivers are navigating that a bit. Ooh, that was good though. A good exit from the bus stop, and Alessandrini's going to pull it to a stop after putting in the fastest quick final session or sector of anyone in the session, and getting a 34.9 through there. Good enough to put him on the pole. Not the prettiest car on track though. That award might go to Sachs Hitman Emporium. It's my early vote.
You're entitled to your opinions. The number 3 is up into 6th.
It's also the first paint job that loaded in on my end, so you know it has an advantage. What do you think?
I couldn't possibly. I love all of my champ cars equally.
There is no most mint entry today, as far as I can tell. So
no, because he's in the lowered expectations. Is Andy Cossack?
I'm surprised they didn't. Maybe that stripe on them on lowered expectations is the mint blue. It's a little tough to tell.
This is the updated version of the Daytona bus stop chicane. Not entirely forgiving. They've put more curbs, more sausages.
Lowered expectations has just showed us how unforgiving it is as they get it pointed the wrong way through the bus stop.
More tire bundles too.
Minute and a half qualifying left. You have to think that's qualifying over for lowered expectations.
And that's a Delta Airlines Boeing 737-800. It's taken its approach speed. The minimum approach speed on a 737-800 is higher than it is on a 737-700 because of the longer fuselage. You need to be traveling faster at a lower angle of attack, otherwise you'll scrape the tail on landing. So to avoid a tail strike, the bigger the Boeing 737, the faster it has to go on approach, and the more runway it needs to land. Luckily, there's plenty here at Daytona Beach.
To say, for those concerned about that sort of detail, rest assured that iRacing is the quality of simulation that ensures that not only the cars on track behave, but also the background images of planes behave in the appropriate manner on approach.
Yeah, they didn't used to. They were doing 300 knot approaches. We've brought that down to sort of 180, I think. Aaron Reed is in 12th at the moment. Obviously, last trip through the bus stop chicane did not go spectacularly. They are still ahead of Project Save the Stang by SRT. Do you know what a Brumby is?
Is it a brat? In North America, I think that's what they call them.
Okay, yep. The Subaru model is named after the Australian wild horse, a Brumby. So that's the checkered flag out.
Looks like SimCity Racing is still trolling around out there, right behind one of the Drivetrainer Motorsports guys. In the ivory car, that's Kyle Schuck.
Slowed expectations did get bumped down to 13th as Save the Stang improved. Now SimCity Racing in behind one of the 3 drive trainer cars. I think that is 42.
Ooh. A couple quick sectors here. This could be a last moment chase for the pole.
Well, Porsche Cayman could disappear into the slipstream of a Ford Mustang as it pulls to pit entry, where there's still a bit of water holding on the apron. And that's quick to the top for Ryan Pucktel with the last lap in qualifying. SimCity Racing's Porsche Cayman goes to the top.
That's good stuff. Love to see it at the end of qualifying.
That's all just the appetizer, the warm-up, before we get into the 3 hours of racing. SimCity Racing's Cayman will start from the front, chasing the Delta Academy. Sargento BMW Motorsport start from second. Lizard Brains podcast from third. The first BMW is fourth place, Drivetrainer Motorsport Emerald. Drivetrainer Motorsport Carbon Ford Mustang just behind them. Zach's Hitman Emporium starting from sixth. Drivetrainer Motorsport Ivory start from 7th. Backflip Boys in 8th. 2430 Esports in 9th. Balthazar Motorworks 10th. And then we had Project Save the Stang in 11th. Love Racing in 12th. And Slowered Expectations in 13th. New pace car for the ChampCar iRacing series. It's the BMW M2 CSR. No one is required to start the race with the same driver that they used in qualifying. And to that end, I think Chasing the Delta may have swapped, and we'll be seeing Lincoln Fox start. Jack Simpson into the 2430. Bill Woods into Balthazar Motorworks. This is the only changes I'm immediately seeing. But it will be Ryan Pucktel who starts from the front row of the grid. That's the angle of the famous banking of the Daytona International Speedway. We'll be taking the infield and the road course, but also pounding around the banking for 3 hours today. Pit entry to the left is where the BMW pace car is going ahead. 13 GT4s on the grid for today's race. And 3 hours on the clock begins when the green flag waves. There goes the pace car. Here comes the green flag. And there goes SimCity Racing and Ryan Pucktel, but it's 3 wide behind as Drivetrainer Motorsports' Caden Parks-Miller is going to look round the outside of turn 1, pulling off the banking down into the infield. Where is the grip? Is it on the big wide line? DJ Alessandrini also jumping from 3rd and up into 2nd as through the quick S's towards the first horseshoe. We'll drop in. (2430) Esports also making some spots. So Jack Simpson with Castrol on the side. It's the inside line going into the kink where there's still a bit of a puddle and it's caught out one of the Drivetrainer cars. Oh, big sideways through the grass, hopefully devoid of too much damage. Don't think anyone else got caught too badly in that. It's a little bit of a checkup at the apex and the combination of the puddle. And it slides sideways through the grass, but avoids the Armco. Project to save the stang and slow it. Expectations sneak through as well. Out of the infield, onto the banking for the first time, heading towards the bus stop chicane, now known as the Le Mans chicane.
It'll always be the bus stop in my heart, David Haynes.
Apparently at Watkins Glen, if you don't call it the inner loop, they get grumpy with you. The BMW's offline, hits a wet patch from Drivetrainer Motorsports, Caden Parks Miller. Now he's got Robertson to the low side of him. 2430 Esports have got a really solid run in the draft and looking for a lane. Right-hand side might have been the way to go. Can you bump draft one to split the teammates? He's going to try.
Gotta love that. A little Porsche pushing along a Mustang. And it's tricky on the outside line on the entry into turn one there. You see Caden Parks Miller in the Emerald Drivetrainer Motorsports car sliding a little wide on the entry as he splashes through that puddle. Gets a good run though. He'll have the run into the first horseshoe, taking the spot back. Might even have enough here to challenge the teammate. Looks like he doesn't get quite the run, but things sort themselves back out and they all fall into line once again. I think all the drivers were very focused on their qualifying and were staying on the dry parts of the track. And I think with other cars on track, they're having to discover where the puddles are offline. And there's a few dastardly ones out there.
Certainly is. In the infield, at the apex of some of the corners, creates a split. You've got your top three drivers all together, and then Drivetrainer Motorsport, Zach's Hitman Emporium 2430 with a decent run. Backflip Boys just sitting in behind them. Love Racing and Balthazar Motorworks are very close as we head to the bus stop chicane again. This is the race lead, DJ Alessandrini sitting just behind Ryan Puchtel.
Two really quality drivers here, and I think the both of them know that fuel matters, tires matter, track position matters, and Alessandrini decides that first place is where he wants to be.
It's changed from the lead. Lizard Brains podcast take first place.
Seeing three distinct packs starting to develop here. Looks like the top three, then 4th through 8th, and then some battling going on in the back. The Mustangs are the champions of my heart, must be said. But it did seem like, at least at Daytona, the drivers preferred the Porsche for straight-out lap times. It's a long, 4-race endurance series, though, so we'll have to see if that maintains throughout. Teams are maintaining the same cars all season long. There's a few changes to the rules this season, Haynes, but we can dig into those a little bit later. The racing on track, pretty busy everywhere. Still puddles you can see on the inside of the curbs through the Le Mans chicane.
Yeah, as this group slinks through. We're hoping to pick up a little bit of pace now that they've settled. Just up ahead, the next three, where Alessandrini's put the foot down and sets a new personal best, but I think the fastest lap of the race still belongs to chasing the Delta Academy Sargento BMW Motorsport with a 153.6. Could get quicker if the track cools off. 3 p.m. right now. Could see that track cooling off and drying out, and that would make it quicker.
Yeah, it's a long race too. Longer than our sprint series. The radar right now looks pretty clear, but we'll have to see.
The radar is clear, and so is the next hour and a half on the forecast. So as they go around, bits of the track will be drying out. This is the onboard from second place. So 6/10 back coming out of turn 6 onto the super speedway, and immediately closing down to just 4/10 now, and then you've still got the whole rest of the banking around to the start finish line. 3/10 coming into the Le Mans chicane. Big yellow nasty curbs on the inside. Tire bundle just past the apex of 4 there that you do not want to hit, because some reason they've more than super glued it there. It will not move. 2430 Esports have made a meal of the bus stop, so they've got a penalty for cutting the corner and are dropping back. And the car on the low line, and they drop in behind.
New fastest lap of the race there, David.
Yeah, the pace picks up for the top 3. Ryan Puchtel and Lincoln Fox follow along as well, so they all set personal bests of the race. Mustangs side by side over the start-finish stripe as Logan Senhauser battles with Kyle Schuck. Put him in a pan with the crushed tomatoes, eggs, and some spices. That's Kyle Shakshuka. I'm hungry.
Yeah, I was going to say, David Haynes hasn't had breakfast yet, folks. Or maybe it's supper. No one knows.
Cheese, eggs, and tomato talk from David Haynes. That is a meal you could also... It's a breakfast meal you could put some cheese on, for sure. Top 3, are they still stretching their legs, unleashing more pace? Alessandrini has said the word go. That's how a safer barrier works, kids. Because we all know, Devon, safer stands for...
Foam. It's just like a foam and the F, and there's like it's an impact reduction. Yeah, I did it.
There's something about
Society
energy.
of American Energy Foam. Yeah, reduction. We did it. The steel and foam energy reduction barrier, as the engineers call it.
Society of American Foam Enjoyment something, and they're the guys that make pool noodles.
Yeah, that might be a different... I was thinking Society of Automotive Engineers, but I was just losing my mind. Backflip Boys and Zach's Hitman Emporium in the camera here, as Bueller and Zoo are having a bit of a tussle. The two of them pushing each other.
Yeah, 2430 lost a lot more time, so they're back with Balthasar Motorworks and Love Racing now, as our sort of 4th place pack has begun to splinter a little bit. The 2 drivetrainer cars are pulling away. Oh, is there more drama for 2430? There is. They've lost another 2 spots. Love Racing's also then gone past Balthasar Motorworks. Let's take a look into the Western Horseshoe.
Yeah, and I think just getting caught out a little bit.
Wide line, was there a puddle, or is that just where the marbles are formed, or a bit of the dirty line, something like that?
I think all of the above, yeah. It's it's tricky with these GT4s for folks who haven't had the chance to race them in iRacing. One of the reasons they're quicker is because of all the fancy electronics on them. But once you get them sliding, they can be hard to get back. And I think that was that there. In the meantime, Nick Love also made a move on Bill Woods in the Balsazar Motorworks car, and he took a spot heading onto the tri-oval that time. Hard to say which Nick Love this is. I think this is the real Nick Love.
Yeah, 3 is the one that we've had in the league for a long time, and 4 is the one that I accepted within the last week or so.
Either way, it looks like they've got at least a little bit of a run coming out of the bus stop. We'll see. Nice and deep for Nick into turn 1. The drive trainer guys seem pretty content to stay together, but the gap between them and Zach's Hitman Emporium, piloted by Kevin Zhu there, the Castro car, starting to come down just a little bit. It's only about a half second, maybe less at this point. And with the big straightaways and the big corners out here, you know, that draft, especially when you're behind a Mustang, it makes a difference. So we'll see.
Just a respectful foot up from the yellow line and the apron around the speedway. Handy illuminated arrow just in case you forget you're racing the road course. Any Cup Series drivers confirmed for the Daytona 24 this year? We had Shane Van Gisbergen and Connor Zilic sharing a Corvette last year. So that counts if it happened again, I think.
I have to see.
Another new fastest lap of the race from DJ Alessandrini, by the way. So it's just ramping up a little bit, and there's a lot of personal bests throughout the field, which is the same for 4th and 5th. So I think they are burning down a little bit of fuel, just getting past some of the little puddles of water. Ryan Puchtel runs wide at the Western Horseshoe. Lincoln Fox stays behind. They've got to be careful.
Yeah, it does seem like Puchtel's having to push a bit to keep up with Alessandrini. It's hard to make enough on the horseshoes to keep, you know, a car far enough behind you that they can't get the draft, but it's close right now. Four tenths was not enough though. Puchtel's still getting a little more top speed than Alessandrini is. We've seen Puchtel a lot recently, but Alessandrini's raced with the series, the Sprint Series as well, a few times, and it's been pretty competitive in those outings.
Over the stripe, they all go faster again. Lincoln Fox gets a new fastest lap of the race. And new personal best from Caden Parks Miller. That's a little wide, but you can bring it back for both of them, in fact. So Parks Miller tight on the way in, wide in the middle of the corner. Kyle Robertson wide on the entry. Brings it back to something resembling an apex in turn 1. First, second, third through the kink. Drivetrainer Motorsports 4th and 5th. Zach's Hitman Emporium 6th, Backflip Boys in 7th here. Now, Hot Wheels paint on the Backflip Boys, I would normally describe what my Hot Wheels cars used to do as loops, not backflips, but there's dramas at the first horseshoe. For Drive Trainer Motorsports 42, they've just got a bit of a slide on as it's happened in front of 2430. The other two, Project Save the Stang and Slow at Expectations, have snuck through and picked up a position. Jack Simpson, I don't think, made any contact or did anything wrong there. Carl Schuck was feeling a bit of the pressure, and the rear
move
of the Mustang went round.
Jack Simpson gets another move done as the camera's on him there, this time passing Andy Cossack in the Slower to Expectations car, putting a lot of pressure as they were heading on to the horseshoe, or out of the infield there. And Logan Sennhauser has struggled a few times on his tires. We'll see them again though if they get close. Back at the front of the field, we've got Pucktel now a little closer to our leader DJ Alessandrini.
Would you say new fastest lap of the race? I think this is going to be the story for the next couple of laps, at least part of this stint.
Yeah, and that was a little quicker, and I think you're right. I think we're seeing both the fuel coming down. I also think we're seeing all the puddles get splashed off the racing line finally, and these guys are starting to have a pretty clear track, pretty optimal conditions. Still get the odd wisp here or there, as we saw at the kink. And if you get offline, it can be a little tricky, but interesting to see the different approaches between Pucktel and Alessandrini at the second horseshoe there. Pucktel preferring to roll it a little bit more through the center, while Alessandrini chops it across the inside curb a little bit more. Pucktel entry also features Chris Beats and Marc-Andre Garon, so we'll have to see which driver ends up joining them today. Minimum of 2 drivers needed, with the possibility of bringing in an alternate as necessary throughout the season this year.
Squeeze a little bit towards turn 1. It's the onboard with the Porsche Cayman. I'm weird about this sort of thing personally, but I have a favorite type of shift lights. So the newest one that Porsche have gone to, where the shift lights start from the outside and meet in the middle, as is seen in the GT3 and the Porsche Cup car, I don't like as much as what this one has got, where it moves left to right. So you can see the shift indicator sort of works up, and then by about the yellow or the first red light, it's probably time to upshift. And then I often think, if you're going through a corner and there's not a single green light on the dash, it probably should be in a lower gear. A little more spaced out, the gears in this car, but often that's how the shift lights work. It's like, okay, if you see all of the lights, it's time to upshift, but if you see none of the lights, probably should downshift.
I can imagine there's some good German reasons for the outside in to the middle approach, but yeah, I think I'm on side with the left to right.
Well, Devin, you see, when you're in the left-hand side corners here and you're looking to the left, you need the lights to be visible, but also when you are going to the right-hand side corners, it needs to be visible, the shift lights. If they are blinking and they meet in the middle, then it works both ways.
They must plan for cars that turn left and right then. Them German types.
Yeah, I don't know if Ford plan on making corners in any direction, at least historical versions of the Ford Mustang.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you're not going straight or turning left, then you're driving it wrong.
I've seen them wreck going left and right, leaving car meets. Pedestrians are not safe on either side.
Riding on board with the Carbon Motorsports vehicle here. Sorry, Drivetrainer Motorsports Carbon entry. And Kyle Robertson actually was overlapped and putting some pressure on the lead car of Caden Parks Miller in the Emerald entry. And we're seeing both of them having a little bit of trouble kind of putting the power down. It seems like at different points on the circuit. We'll see if they do one on command here. But they've been spinning the tires a little bit on the exits. With the puddles around, you got to be very careful on your car placement. Make sure you don't get any extra moisture at the apex.
Good lap last time from Zach's Hitman Emporium as well, though. Took a couple of tenths out, so this could come back together 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. Kevin Zhu and Alexander Bueller in the 2 spots behind have just closed in a little bit. On board with the Mustang, you get a proper mirror and everything else.
I always appreciated having Bueller push me in league races back in the day. Didn't happen very much, but he knew how to do it. So having him on the rear bumper has got to be a reassuring feeling for Zhu. Of course, they've split up now through the bus stop.
.24.30 are also pretty quick for where their track position is, but we've seen them be unfortunate a couple times. One loop at the Western Horseshoe, one time trapped behind another spinning car at the International Horseshoe. They qualified 9th, they were up a couple of spots, then they were back to basically the very tail of the field. Back a little bit. That is wide through every part of turn 1. But Save the Stang by Sennhauser follows them.
I'm appreciating the Burrell paint job on this one.
The Sennhauser guys want the Ford Mustang FR 500S back with its BF Goodrich treaded tires, H-pattern gearbox, and pushrod V8?
Sounds real. I have to double check.
Ford were quicker at realizing how overhead cams worked than Chevrolet.
Oh, yeah.
So even the Ford modular engine was overhead cams. I just don't know if the base Mustang GT had a single overhead cam or dual overhead cam. Things for me to look up that matter absolutely nothing at all.
I try not to touch Fords if I can help it.
You know that Ford Australia made 5.4 litre V8s at their engine plant in Australia. And all of them were 4 valves per cylinder dual overhead cams. So we didn't make any single overhead cam 2 valve nonsense.
Drivetrainer guys keep getting closer and closer together, but that seems to be the tail in a few parts of the field. The Drivetrainer guys are having a good time racing with each other though, but they got to watch out. So they're going too wide on the exit here. You see the 2 Porsches, Bueller and Zhu, pushing up behind them. And if they don't decide to line up, I think we're going to have a real battle for 4th place here. Might be a battle already. So now right on the rear bumper. Yeah. the early phase on the banking, you see the Mustangs have a little bit more power to pull away with a pretty similar exit, but by the end of the straightaway, the Porsches get up there, especially with some draft helping them out. And I have a feeling that after the bus stop, the Porsches get a little bit better of an exit. We'll see. Bueller holding it closer at the end of that train than he has so far through the bus stop, through the Le Mans chicane. I caught it, Haynes. Did you see me?
Yep.
Again, on the big run up to the tri-oval, the Mustangs pull away a little bit in the early phase. But Sue's coming like a freight train here.
I'm always saying, based on this camera angle as well, ladies cannot get enough ChampCar iRacing series.
Truly, truly.
It's like ballet or figure skating. How can we get more men into this sport? Oh, that's touch and go here, exiting turn one. Ooh. 2430 and Logan Sennhauser. Both of them were a bit wide through that turn one some laps ago. Now they're very close into the infield. I now know what the headlight flasher looks like on the Mustang GT4. Logan Sennhauser's giving it a go. Don't say we're going to go side by side through the kink. Logan Sennhauser has a little bit too much self-preservation for that. Even in a Mustang versus a Cayman. Just because you're the bigger man doesn't mean you're going to win the fight, Devin.
Not sure that still applies in vehicles, you know. There's a little bit of a mass. There's a reason all those bad drivers want to have those big SUVs, you know. Speaking of mass versus agility, the Porsches are still right up on the rear bumpers of the drive trainer cars. Going into the first horseshoe last time, Kevin Zhu was almost sideways. He had to hit the brakes so hard, try and take evasive action. So we'll see if into turn number one or into the infield here, there's a move to be made. The drive trainer boys seem to have shaped up a little bit, driving in formation, making Zhu make the move. Hard move to make into the first horseshoe. A little bit better run on the exit though. Fun angles here as we see them all four nose to tail coming through a kink. And this time inside, just a little peek by Kevin. Sets it up though, and on the exit he'll have a run. Trying to find a route around. It doesn't just yet. But the pressure is mounting on these drive trainer cars.
Yeah, the Cayman is quicker at the moment. Now, look at who takes how much curb at the first apex. They all try to stay off it. Heaps of final apex curb from the two drive trainer cars. Kevin Zhu keeps his four wheels firmly planted on the ground, and that gives him a good run. So is Caden Parks-Miller gonna run some defense elbows out for his teammate? We're gonna get some bump drafting super speedway spec on the oval.
Oh.
First pit stop of the race is Nick Love. Love Racing 647. driving down Daytona International Speedway's expansive pit lane. There's the entrance to Victory Lane there underneath the Rolex branding. And there's his guys, and they're easy up. And it's goodbye, Nicholas Love 3. Hello, it still seems to be Nicholas Love 3.
Well, that would make sense. You want to extend the first stint so that you can hopefully make the driver change at a later one. If you only want to make one driver change on the weekend.
So look to the fourth apex here of the bus stop. Oh, gee, what a leap. Pit stop still ongoing for Love Racing is a surprise to me.
Yeah, I just saw Nicola 4 connect. So I'm wondering if the swap's happening now.
It's not, and they go a lap down. But now Nick Love 4 is in the car.
Might be the first endurance race on this setup. Car's backing up, going forwards now. Might be figuring out the kinks.
Yeah, Love 4, Love 4, Love 4. You don't treat me no good no more. PB pace at the lead of the race again, getting into the minute 52s. That next group of drivers are in the minute 53s for the moment. So 52.8 for the race leader, 52.8 for Ryan Puchtel. Lincoln Fox 53.1 ends up just a tiny bit further back this lap. Then I think he must have been all over Ryan Puchtel the lap previous. And what's that? Better part of 170 miles an hour over the start-finish line, I think. And the pace did just drop back a little bit on this race, on this lap for those three. So back into the minute 53s. Back on board with Ryan Puchtel for SimCity Racing 71. The back of the envelope stuff, which is about as involved as ChampCar strategy gets sometimes, would have this as a 3-stop race.
That's what my northern calculations said as well.
Yeah, probably 4 then for Love Racing, though, based on when they've stopped. Unless they've got some incredible economy and they're counting backwards.
Could also be, you know, expecting a yellow. There is always the chance that being off cycle could help them out. If you were going to pick a time when the drivers start racing a little bit near the end of the first stint, You know, that could be a moment where you see two people get together, one get in the water before things get too spread out. Up at the front,
everyone.
Puckdale is still pushing.
Favorite race day snack? Got some contenders. So between Sargento cheese and hot dogs and lizard brains. I've eaten lamb's brain. I'm not recommending it, so I'm not sure that lizard brain is going to be any better.
Ooh. Well, hopefully the lizard brain doesn't take over in this little batter group we got here. Zoo right back up on the rear bumper of those Mustangs again. But again, the Mustangs are going to pull away as they hit the tri-oval. Hard time to be a Porsche out here. And I have had it pointed out to me that one of those Mustangs is in fact a BMW. So I'll make sure to respect it. But both of them are pulling away from the Porsches out of the twisty bits.
Oh, she's got to slow down through the Le Mans chicane bus stop.
Ooh, tough.
So Bueller and Backflip Boys go up into 6th. Creates a little bit more space for Drive Trainer Motorsport. Ooh, 2430 get one as well. Now, I ran the sums just then because the back of the envelope ran out of space. And actually, to make this a 3-stop race, you need to go 45 minutes on a stint. So that's what's to look out for in the next 6 minutes. Who makes it to 2 hours 15 to go before their first pit stop? So if everyone is actually making a 4-stop race, then I think that Love Racing 647 are okay. In red and white here is 2430. Behind them, Project Save the Stang by SRT. Last lap, Simpson lost about a second. It's brought Logan Stenhauser way closer. Bit of damage on the front left. Perhaps from the curbs at the bus stop is the most likely place. Doesn't look nasty.
Also possible that it's been a little bit of rubbing and racing there. Either way, that's going to be affecting the top end just a little bit.
Backflip Boys getting right back with Drive Trainer Motorsports 4th, 5th, and 6th.
Ooh, drama at the front.
Yes, they've caught some lap traffic of Nick Love 4. It's then caught out Alessandrini. Lincoln Fox has gone to the lead of the race. Alessandrini was wide through 1, has come back on track in 2nd place. Now Ryan Pucktel crosses over under as he can. We'll get to the replay here. So is there a miscommunication? There's a big miscommunication going in towards turn 1.
Yeah,
and then a puddle
Alessandrini
right there.
Finds that puddle on the exit and has to drive it back inside, and in the meantime loses the spot to Lincoln Fox. And Pucktel has gotten held up a little bit as well by the Love Racing car, now piloted by Nick Love 4.
Bill Woods and Balthasar Motorworks are going to be the 2nd car on pit lane. The 3rd car is going to be Drive Trainer Motorsports 42, Kyle Shook. So just past 40 minutes, we've got 2 cars on the lane. Bill Woods for Justin Woods in the number 13. Still yet to find out what drive trainer might do. Oh, a change there. Shook out, Halsey in, who I think did a lot of the qualifying as well.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what the pace looks like there. And that's a critical change at the lead there, right at sort of a moment where we're approaching the pit stops. But a little misjudgment by Alessandrini, and he's going to hit the pit lane now.
He's led the way most of this race up until just a lap ago. So chasing the Delta Academy, Sargento BMW Motorsport continue on. They're not even in a BMW anymore. SimCity Racing carry on, and Alessandrini is in.
The two drive trainer cars, the Mustang and the BMW, are both on the pit lane and on the limiter. Kyle Robertson and Caden Parks Miller coming towards the stop here. Oh, and it looks like the first car stop there, the Mustang, that's Kyle Robertson, got it a little deep, had to back it up. And that'll cost just a moment of time. And we're seeing a couple, one drivetrain or car change their driver. That's Flashawn Dilworth, young Dilworth, going in to the Emerald BMW. And the other drivetrainer cars had a bit of a moment. That's Norris Halsey at the second horseshoe. It's made contact with the wall a couple times and has towed back to pit lane.
Well, cold tyres can be an issue in GT4 cars, so I think that's what we're looking at here.
He's left some debris on the racetrack there. The front ends come off it.
Everyone else coming into pit lane, including your leaders. It is 2 hours, 16 minutes to go. Got
on track, we're seeing the cars cycling through their pit stops. Lincoln Fox and Chris Beats now behind the wheel of the SimCity Racing car. So that's the Sargento Cheese and SimCity Racing carrying on. Alex Bueller and the Backflip Boys carrying on with a second stint in the Hot Wheels car as well.
So, what's going on for Lizard Brains? Number 5.
Trying to get a look at the Lizard Brains boys. Not seeing them on track.
No, I don't think they left the pit lane.
And Alessandrini and Tom O'Gorman have disconnected from the race. So not sure what has happened there, but one of our top contenders is the leader of the first stint is out.
I'm looking back through the tape, and it looks like they drove into pit lane and then just didn't drive out. Oh no, they did. And they binned it. And it brings out a safety car. They went into the wall at the bus stop on cold tires. We'll try to find it.
See if we got it here.
So this is Alessandrini on the outlap. We have found the tape as the yellow flies at Daytona. So you go from getting temperature into those tires where they react how you'd like to they've got less grip. They're bouncier when they don't have pressure. The rear was already gone. I hope our cameraman's okay, because that was straight at the camera.
Yeah, that's a hard hit, and that will have done damage all the way down the left-hand side of that car.
So Lincoln Fox is just crossing the start-finish line now. Whoa, look at the lights on the BMW M2 CSR safety car as it wiggles out of pit road. My goodness, yeah, yellow and blue on the safety car lights and the flashing headlights. That's Fox. So, yeah, a lot happening in the space of 10 minutes there. We were sort of settling into our rhythm, and then problems for Love Racing, problems for Lizard Brains podcast, some other confusing stops. Drive Trainer encountering some issues in the number 42 car, and then a long stop for Sennhauser's in Project Save the Stang. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, a few cars going to be happy to see things choked up here. Field coming back together under the yellow. I think Sebastian Day and the 2430 Esports car will be happy to have some of the mistakes to the first stint wiped away. Justin Woods in the Balsazar Motorworks car and Cameron Sennhauser, the other Sennhauser, now driving the Stang. And even Nick Love and the, which I've been informed Nick Love for is Tom Love, are going to be beneficiaries of this yellow flag. As well as Norris Halsey, who got towed away without a front bumper after that initial wreck.
So it looks like one retirement, 2 cars a lap down. 10 cars on the lead lap. There's Lincoln Fox from Chris Beats just 2 laps into this race. Alexander Bueller staying in the car at the stop. Kyle Robertson staying in the 23, but we had a driver change at the 8. Zach's Hitman Emporium now ends up between the two of them. And Sebastian Day into 2430 Esports. Justin Woods into Balthazar Motorworks 4 laps ago. Cameron Sennhauser. Andy Kosick. These are our 2 lap down cars here, I think. Yes, Norris Hulsey and Tom Love.
Yeah, coming up
pitting for a second time.
Yeah, and we got a couple of cars opting to top up. So that's Andy Kosick in this lowered expectations car. And that looks like, what is that on the pit lane? That's Chris Beats in the SimCity Racing car. Looks like both are just opting for some fuel. .42 and 647 being waved around. Got the amusements going in the center of the track. The chairplanes and the Ferris wheel. Do you want some fun Ferris wheel facts, Devon? Yes, please, David Haynes.
The Wiener Riesenrad Ferris wheel in Vienna was the tallest standing Ferris wheel in the world for 60 years. When it was built, it was not the world's tallest Ferris wheel. Then 3 Ferris wheels taller than it got demolished. It stood as the tallest standing one for 60 years until someone got around to building a taller Ferris wheel again. We had 2 Ferris wheel booms. One in the 1900s, everyone was building a Ferris wheel, including the original Ferris wheel. And then we forgot, everyone except Vienna forgot how cool Ferris wheels are. And then at World Expo 1985 in Tsukuba, Japan, Techno Star opened as the world's tallest Ferris wheel. And then the record for the world's tallest Ferris wheel got broken every 4 years from then. Things like the London Eye, Singapore Flyer, whatever the one in Las Vegas is opening. For 60 years, Wiener Riesenrad was a only child of Ferris wheel success.
Bonus question, David Haynes. What's the tallest Ferris wheel in Canada?
Ooh. I don't know. No clue.
Oh, dang, I was hoping you would know. No, it's in Montreal. They got La Grande Roue.
Ooh.
If we're doing foreign languages. But we won't because the pace car's pulling in, David.
Sure is. Green flag waving now as they pass the NASCAR restart zone. Barney's well trained here at Daytona on when to throw the green flag. Coming to a single file restart. So chasing the Delta backflip boys up into second place. They stayed out with this caution while we had a couple and 2 pit.
Yeah, things are
that's
headed one the wrong way.
SimCity, did they also? No, I think they took fuel only, so it shouldn't be a cold tires situation for them in towards turn 1, but they did lose track position, found themselves out wide and just lost the rear by themselves, rolled backwards down the grassy hill, and after being waved around and trying to come back through.
Zach's Hitman Emporium had
a problem too. Issue. So, yeah, drama on the restart as tire temperature dropped.
Yeah, as I think Zach's Hitman Emporium got caught out by the same thing on the exit of the first horseshoe, and the low tire temps and the cool day, I think, catching some drivers out. Hard to tell what the air temperature is and what the track temperature is when you're not there, when you're in the simulator. Someone needs to get a temperature regulator for these guys, you know. Blow some hot or cold air on them through the window net.
I've seen people have the fans that blow at a variable speed based on the telemetry of your speed. I just haven't seen.
Come on, nerds, let's get on it.
Temperature controls, yeah. Okay.
I think you could repurpose a ChampCar cool suit, you know, make it happen.
Right, and then like have a mixer tap type situation where it puts cold or hot through based on how things are going. That is slow at expectations. And Balthazar Motorworks, I feel like we haven't seen a whole lot of yet to this point in this race. They weren't part of the packs we were focusing on in the first stint and inside of the first hour. And here comes Project Save the Stang, Cameron Senhauser. Looks like offering up the inside line to me. Not quite, maybe. Doesn't seem to communicate as clearly as they'd like here.
Yeah, and a big shakeup in the field after all that. Lincoln Fox from first stays in first, but the backflip boys have suddenly found their way to the front, and Kyle Robertson in that drive trainer car, the Mustang, is in third. So with Alessandrini and the Lizard Brains entry out, we're now seeing a few different drivers closer to the front. We'll have to see what Chris Beats in that SimCity car can do too, because I know that Chris is a pretty quick driver in his own right, but he seems to be really struggling with the cold tires and the sort of mixed conditions on track right now. See him nicely carry a lot of speed there, though.
Coming back. Looking for another move in behind Senhauser Racing Team. A whole heap of speed heading down the front straight. Pulls to the left-hand side to give him the inside for turn 1. And then trying to follow them through to go ahead. Balthazar Motorworks a little slow going into 1 as well, so SimCity Racing end up just behind them.
Slicing and dicing his beats, like we thought might be the case. Nice exit out of the first horseshoe. He's going to be alongside the Balthazar Motorworks car, currently piloted by Justin Woods. And Justin Woods hits the puddle at the apex, gets a little loose, and that's going to give a little room to Zach. Zach's Hitman Emporium, still piloted by Kevin Zhu at this point. Critically, though, a little bit of a gap for Zhu as they come onto the tri-oval here, heading into 1.
Leaders heading into the bus stop chicane on the back straight. Daytona still launching and flying across the curbs, the yellow anti-cut curbs, trying to avoid the tyre bundles. Alexander Bueller in the slipstream of Lincoln Fox. Just sits there for a second. Kyle Robertson's more like 5 or 6 car lengths back behind the Porsche Caymans that now go side by side. So this will be a super speedway style photo finish at the start finish line, except there's an hour 58 to go. Around the outside, Alexander Bueller rolls out just a tiny bit earlier. From the tight line down towards the apex goes Lincoln Fox, keeping the race lead. All of that serves to let Kyle Robertson nip a little closer to the race lead.
It's close at a few places on track. LaShawn Dilworth was putting a lot of pressure, or put under a lot of pressure by Sebastian Day, and Chris Beats was trying to put the moves on Andy Cossack in the Slower Expectations car going into one as well, but Cossack was able to hold him off and just put Chris out onto that wet spot on the outside. Chris really had to take some evasive maneuvers, but he's going to try and maneuver here as he dives up the inside into the second horseshoe and gets left a lot of room by Andy Cossack, who, realizing maybe that the amount of pressure is because Beats is just moving right now. Last time by nearly a second and a half faster than the car of Andy Cossack. Kevin Zeus trying to do the same, but has lost even more ground, just not quite slicing through the traffic at the same rate as the SimCity racing car is up ahead. Still putting on a respectable showing though.
This is a strategy versus track position type of play for SimCity Racing. When they pitted underneath the caution to take just 2 or 3 extra laps of fuel, it shuffled them backwards, but it might help them in the long term versus the 3 cars that ended up out in the race lead. That is Kevin Zhu looking for the big run around the outside of the banking and whatever slipstreams possible coming off Slowered Expectations.
Yep. Doing a little side draft here, trying to make the high line work. And usually it's not a bad spot, but with the water on the outside of one, I still don't know if I'd be comfortable up there. Narrowly avoiding the puddles, barely gets it slowed down, but it's going to hold the spot and take it from Cossack. So that's Zhu up to 7th place now. At the front, things are starting to get a little spicy. I think we jumped on board with Bueller just in time to see that Backflip Boys car is looking a little bit racy in the wheel tracks of Lincoln Fox and the Sargento BMW Motorsport car. Yeah, it was weird when they decided to sponsor the Porsche with the BMW money, but you know, that's how things go. That might be what the chasing the Delta part of the team name is. You know, gotta just go with the faster car sometimes.
I believe it's a coaching from their other driver.
I think you're right. Bueller is put the pressure on though into the bus stop that time.
Bit of that cloud comes across now, so it was pretty sunny, and I know what Florida sunny is like. But then the cloud comes across, as it can do. We get a little bit later into the day. Track temps begin to drop, but no more moisture on the circuit. So what kind of a lap times could they pull out once they get through a couple more pounds of fuel? It's the onboard with Bueller in 2nd place. So long as your race pace is within, you know, half a second a lap, 0.8 of a second per lap of another driver, you can stay glued to them here at Daytona. It's one of the key characteristics of this place. So you can sort of retune yourself to say, I don't need every single 0.1 of a second. What I need is consistency. Because if I don't have consistency, I'll drop away from the race lead. Chris Beats finds just a couple more 0.1 of a second though. And they are now up into 6th place. behind Sean Young Dilworth.
Yeah, using that Mustang-shaped hole in the air to put in a real fast one.
You've done it again.
BMW-shaped. They did.
Is the grill not big enough for you, Devon? Did they not put enough nostril on it for it to look like a BMW? Somewhere there's a board meeting, and they are saying, how can we make the whole car a grill? Because Devon Peters is disrespecting us.
I just need them to put a BMW logo on the roof. That's that's what I'm looking for. They're holding the inside line. It's LaShawn holding the inside line on Chris.
As you can see, this market research says we need to put a kidney grill on the rear of the car as well. Brand recognition is insufficient. It is suboptimal.
Suboptimal. How I would describe that line for Chris. I think he might have picked up a slowdown that time, went up high, and now is getting a little bit of draft from LaShawn. Getting a little side draft.
Way up high or down low, I'll go wherever you will go. And Chris Beats has the calling to move forward and go into 5th place.
For those of you wondering, yes, I could see David Haynes rehearsing that off camera before he hit the mic button.
I don't want to attribute the musical reference to the wrong band. I've got enough respect for musicians to frustrate them, but not misname them.
Well, our top 3 are still together, and it was actually interesting to see Kyle Robertson close up on the lead 2 in the
drama in the Western
Horseshoe
right now for Norris Halsey. On the turn in, the rear gives way. He spins to the infield. He'll find part of the motorcycle layout to put his BMW back on terra firma. Sorry, it was Drivetrainer Motorsport Emerald from further up the field. My apologies to the Mustang of Halsey.
On the bright side, that cost him a bit, but I don't think it cost him quite as much as it could have. They were trying to do the Porsche line, I think, of Chris Beat ahead, and that didn't go. Ends up costing him 2 spots and maybe 5-10 seconds. But this time, the drivetrainer car does not smack the wall, and all the parts stay attached. So the track position play continues. Chris Beats, now in the top 5, is on the rear bumper of Sebastian Day in the 2430 eSports car. I gotta wonder, is that 2430? And also, does 2430 eSports compete on the 31st day of the month? People want to know.
I want to know, have you ever seen the rain?
I'll have to see if we can get them in the booth later, maybe.
Because it is 4:20 p.m. in session. 4:22, don't get too excited. And 5:45, there is predicted rain. So that is before the checkered flag. That is an hour 20 away that the chance of rain increases, and the forecast moves from the current mostly cloudy to overcast and then to possible rain. Sebastian Day comes back over onto the racing line on the back straight, holds on to 5th place, massive hop of the second chicane curb.
I think these overcast conditions are catching guys out a little bit. Just seeing a few lines get wonky on people. Not for Chris, though. He gets a big run. coming off of 4 and into the tri-oval. He will take the lead by a few car lengths over Sebastian Day. The lead among the two of them anyway. That's 4th place on the field.
They are about 8 seconds now behind our race leading trio. Chasing the Delta Academy, Backflip Boys and Drive Trainer Motorsport. Dramas now with the 42 Mustang. Is that turn 6? Oh, that's a late in the corner to spin to the infields.
That thing just looks like it's not handling for anything. And I think these really cool conditions out here are making it tough on the drivers.
And let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I just looked more closely.
70 Fahrenheit.
An hour, 20 minutes from now is a 23% chance of rain. But it will be very overcast. Race leaders here, inches apart.
I think iRacing needs to add some more simulation to its simulation and let me decide if the weather updates you get are F1 quality or frantically refreshing the cell phone at a racetrack with bad internet quality. You know. Give me worse weather information.
Big Australian controversy. The Australian Bureau of Meteorology have a new website that rolled out last week and people don't like it. They'll get used to it.
Scandal.
But now when I want to look at a weather radar or, read the official forecast, the website looks different. And that scares me because the previous website had been around for 15 years or longer.
Luckily in Canada, we've still got a Web 1.0 looking thing from our meteorological bureau. Oh, Sebastian Day gets a little wrong at the second horseshoe and the door is wide open on the exit.
Beats lost a bit of time last lap because Beats had gone through. SimCity Racing should pull away. It hasn't happened, and now Sebastian Day is back with them.
I think Beats had to make his way around Nick Love 4, so Tom Love, and took a little extra care and attention while doing that. Going by the pace on the stopwatch, I think that Beats will have a shot at making it up to those lead cars, that lead pack. We haven't seen Beats run without a significant draft, though, in a few laps, so it will be interesting to see what the pace looks like when there's not a gigantic Mustang or BMW ahead pushing the air out of the way. Speaking of pushing, up at the front there, nose to tail. And Bueller also has a Mustang getting rather large in the rearview mirror. That's Kyle Robertson coming up in 3rd place. Oh, and Bueller gets it sideways. And good evasive action on the part of Kyle Robertson, but a little mistake there. And that costs them both a little bit of time and gives Lincoln a little bit of breathing room.
Good catch by Robertson there as well. To be like, oh, this car in front of me is losing it, so let's just woe it up. Because if I try to be a hero and I pick one way to go and it's wrong, we're going to have a big T-bone accident.
Yeah, that was driven like someone who's got a lot of laps. Oh.
Wide from Backflip Boys through the Western Horseshoe. So now Kyle Robertson does go up into 2nd place. Both of these drivers now 2 seconds behind Lincoln Fox in the race lead. So what's the big Mustang got? Can it catch Lincoln Fox? In Lincoln Fox's shoes, are you trying to form a breakaway right now? Do you look at this as an opportunity to put the pedal down, or are you still playing a long game?
Well, Lincoln was leading, so I don't think that there was a ton of fuel save happening in the lead pack. Could be, but we'll see. I think the time as we cross the line here will be instructive. I also think that the braking point and the lift-off point into the first turn will be instructional. Does Lincoln figure he can just fuel save a little bit extra for a few laps, or does he want to try and keep this gap? And that's hard on the gas all the way in and get real deep into turn one. Oh, real deep is Bueller.
Manages to mostly bring it back around. You often don't want to use that much of the apron running wide towards turn one. It does get dirty out there. I think there are still some puddles out there.
Yeah, I think the puddles are the more concerning factor right now. Either way, last time by, Chris Beats took a real good chunk out of both the guys ahead, nearly 3 seconds from fourth place to third. Aided, of course, by that incident in turn one. LaShawn Dilworth is about to put a move on some lap traffic here.
Yeah, Tom Love's about to go a lap down in the Western Horseshoe. It's Sean Young-Dilworth alongside him while Andy Cossack watches. Which way to go?
I think Cossack going to try to move around the outside here. Cossack comes by cleanly. Oh, cleanly. Spoke too soon. Oh, no. And a big hit there as Cossack a little offline into the Le Mans chicane, jumps the inner curbs, and we'll see it here, gets airborne and clanks the wall. And that thing's driving a little funny. I think he'll get it back around to the pits.
So he's on the tight line on the way in. Understeer, that just nasty yellow curb, and then into the tyres in the infield.
Love Racing also taking the opportunity to take a pit stop. As I imagine we'll see the Andy Cossack's car come to the pit lane here. Yeah, that's a crab walking Porsche right there. Sort of like those stance guys, but you know, a little different kind of modification to the alignment. Rejoining our leaders, it looks like Lincoln Fox has decided that having a gap is okay, as he continues to carry about a 1.5, 2 second gap on second and third place. After Alex Bueller had that little moment in turn one, Kyle Robertson has taken second place. And not too far off in the distance, you can just start to see Chris Beats in the back of some of these shots as he continues to put quick lap after quick lap in. Last time by a 52.7, managing to take nearly 5/10 out of the guys ahead.
Slowed expectations just in the pit exit now. There they are rejoining just up ahead, but delayed.
I was wondering
2 laps down. It's like 1.5 laps down now after where they were, how much time they lost, and then the pit stop taken.
Just going to say, if you want that detailed timing, make sure you check out hjbc.live, champcar.hgbc.live, and you'll get all the details. Oh, and Andy Cossack's having a moment. I was just trying to get on to the...
It'll be cold tires again. They're so difficult.
Yeah.
The mental adjustment is challenging.
Especially out here with the cold air temp, and he turns in and nothing special, just can't get it back. And that car facing the wrong way. Keeps it off the wall though. And despite the fact that we have a mostly dry track and a clear, mostly clear sky, these cold temps are really catching guys out on the transition. Just a lap ago, I saw Kevin Zhu going deep into turn number 1 through some puddles. So we'll have to see. Focus in the middle part of the race becomes important.
Well, we've got 3 hours of racing here at Daytona to begin the team endurance season of the ChampCar iRacing series. We're not far away from doing one of the prize draws from the earlier races in the season. So how it works, if you do a run of 4 consecutive races, either in the spring, the summer, or the fall, and you complete those races, your name goes into the draw. We've already drawn some of them. I think the spring one was won by a name that was on the top of my tongue until I started the sentence.
Don't worry, David Haynes, I got your back there. Our second draw was one... Oh, no, I don't have your back.
Oh, man. Oh, no. Good thing we've got 96 more minutes to sort this one out. ChampCar iRacing Series prizes 2025 is the spreadsheet I should have opened and am right now.
Don't worry, it doesn't contain any of that information. Yeah, there you go.
Jeffrey Rockwell, and then Jared Collins from rounds 5 to 8 across the summer. 2 ChampCar members that love to race with us here on iRacing for all of the benefits that it gives them. Good fun, more practice for some of these tracks, a chance to win some prizes that can get them on track again sooner.
On track, we've got the leaders coming up on one of the Drive Trainer Motorsports cars. This one, also a Mustang. This is Norris Halsey. Having had some struggles early on in the stint with the cold tires. Now in the crosshairs of Lincoln Fox, who's still holding about a 2-second gap, now down to about 1.5. to the guys behind, and Halsey makes sure that he won't influence the race by getting way out of the way. Kyle Robertson and Alex Bueller make it through quickly. Blue flags, of course, just informative. This is an F1, but well executed there by Norris.
On board with the Mustang. I always love looking at, what of the various bits inside the car are going on. So is that a race logic box that's got the flags and other things? Race dash present. What looks like it delivers... Oh yeah, there's a fan connected to the ducting that you can then see just to the right there on the next to the window net latch. So I don't know if that just puts forced air towards the driver's face or if it's connected to the cooling system as well. All the way up into 6th gear and revving it out. Down to 3rd, 2nd for turn 1. We've got ABS, traction control, etc. Position switches. Now, you don't have the race logic box on board in the Cayman. Functions a lot like Flagtronics, of course, the race logic box that SRO mandate for their competition. In the Cayman, that silver thing to the right of the digital dash will flash yellow under caution. So it's a more rudimentary system.
Just seeing our leaders going onto the banking, and just behind them you can see Chris Beats having just passed the other drive trainer car there. That's the 42 of Halsey.
Get a load of the fog coming out of the forest and the trees. It's yeah, almost getting foggy. It's so humid and the temperature's dropping. And the cloud cover's coming over. Or it could be sea mist rolling in from the Atlantic Ocean. Or rolling off of Lake Lloyd. Balthazar Motorworks, Justin Woods is in. Now they have completed 22 laps since their last pit stop. They did 21 laps at the start of the race. The 22 laps that they've just done would have included some laps under caution. So that might be kind of what their fuel range and their stint range looks like. It's still 2 minutes before the halfway point of this race. So they might need to do a bit more fuel saving. 2430 Esports also in after 22 laps in their Cayman. Sebastian Day looking for their crew. Did Balthazar have a driver change? I think Justin Woods was in at the previous stint. Jack Simpson gets in to replace Sebastian Day here for 2430.
Jack Simpson.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see this kind of turnout at Daytona for a ChampCar iRacing Series event.
I was going to say Jack Simpson, also a Briggs Stratton kart guy. So we'll see how that translates onto the track in a Porsche. Cameron Sennhauser hits the lane in the Save the Staying vehicle. Truly passionate is Cameron about the Mustang.
Now, everyone be careful on your new cold tyres. Everyone be careful on your new cold tyres. Pit lane speed is 55 miles an hour on this iRacing configuration. We take a look. Jack Simpson's... Do you know what? I actually reckon a new driver on cold tyres is less of a risk.
You've just said it, Haynes. Norris Halsey comes out of the bus stop and gets it facing the wrong way. And as you've said it, he's getting it pointed back right around the right way. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the new driver is going to go out and be a little timid on the first few laps.
Yeah, I think the new driver would be more timid. It's when the drivers stay in and you give them a new set of tyres. They're like, hey, where'd all that grip go that I had a couple of minutes ago? Sorry, your car is 80 pounds heavier and your tyres are cold.
As I say, with the temperatures being as low as they are, this reminds a bit of that Daytona 24 a few years ago, where they still didn't have the tire warmers and the tire compounds were just wild and everyone was facing the wrong way. It seemed like might get a little wild here too.
Zach Hitman Emporium come in, and Shu makes way for Zachary Rubin, him of Hitman Emporium fame. We get a couple of the drive trainer cars, including the 42 and the 8.
On track, we've got Lincoln Fox, the lead car, making an overtake on the Balthazar Motorworks car of Justin Woods. And it looks like the whole lead pack will have to find their way around Justin through the Le Mans chicane here, which is always a bit dicey. Justin giving plenty of room to the leader before falling back in line. And Kyle Robertson getting right up on the rear bumper, but having to give up a little bit on the exit. And Alex Bueller's going to be right behind. It's the two of them splash through that big puddle that's still sitting there on the apex.
Smells like inlet here. We've crossed the halfway point of the race. 90 minutes done, under 90 minutes to go. And yeah, pulling to the apron and early. Carl Robertson's like, I'm out of here. I don't need to pass Balthazar Motorworks. Lincoln Fox stays out. Alexander Bueller stays out, so he's got to go around. And yeah, third gear, 53 miles an hour. Rolling down the very, very spacious lane.
I'm trying to remember where it was, but I recently saw some no prep drag racing on a NASCAR pit lane. That was pretty slick.
But we still replaces Kyle Robertson in the 23.
So say those no prep guys seem to be just figuring out aerodynamics. So there's a couple wheelies across the across the finish line rather. Anyways, I'll let you go find that on your own. Chris Beats will be taking his turn. Justin Woods here.
I think the drag highlights in my YouTube algorithm are different to yours. Mine's just snatch game, snatch game, snatch game. Slowdown penalty for Zachary Rubin on the outlap for the number 3. It looks okay. If you get to the bus stop chicane and you realize you're in trouble, you still can use the very, very generous paved runoff rather than just launching yourself over the curb. So maybe that's what he's done and saved himself a little bit of bother. Got 3 more cars that need to pit in this window. Race leader Lincoln Fox, we've got our eyes on. Alexander Bueller just in that slipstream behind. You've got Chris Beats, who's not only caught 6 seconds on the leaders across this stint, but also took that extra splash of fuel underneath the last yellow that should allow them to go 2 or 3 laps longer. And they go around to that race lead.
And our first and second place cars both get it stopped in the box. Critically important. We'll see if there's any driver changes. Looks like one. We've got Aaron Myers hopping in the lead car of the Sargento BMW Motorsport boys. And Alex Cofford hopping in to the Backflip Boys car. So we've actually got both of our lead cars making driver changes. And we'll see which ones get the memo from their friends that things a little squirrely on cold tires. Cofford gets a nice exit and I think maybe closes down a little bit.
He's not on wet tires, is he? It says wet tires for the number 17 car. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on a moment in the pit exit on the cold slick tires for Aaron Myers. So it's 55 miles an hour in the pit lane, and on cold tires, that's almost too quick in that part of the pit exit where you're on the inside of the concrete wall. Feels like a street circuit. But is there being a problem for the Backflip Boys? Look at Aaron Myers now already pull away from Coffard. I'm trusting the telemetry these days because there are a few times I questioned it. I'm like, is that erroneous data? And every time lately, it's been correct. When I see, wait, are they on wet tires when everyone else is on slicks? The answer has been yes.
And that's early. 4:45, 4:48 in the simulator right now. We're not expecting to see more rain for at least another hour, and only an hour and a half to go.
And he's losing time fist over hand.
I mean, it's cold out
there as well.
So maybe the idea was like some sort of tire compound thing, but yeah. Meanwhile, Aaron Myers going down to the apron. I'm not sure what that was all about, but finds a puddle and then rejoins the track.
If it is the wrong tyres for Coffard, you've got to rectify that mistake ASAP. So you'd expect to see that number 17 back on pit lane immediately. Pronto, stats, immediatement, without delay. And that's what he's doing. They've put the wrong tyres on that Porsche Cayman. Now, normally you can tell which ones are the slicks and which ones are the wet tyres because the slicks are slick and the wet tyres have got grooves. But that is a strategy and pit lane blunder from the number 7.
Speaking of blunders, the Drive Trainer Motorsports car piloted 17. By Kyle Schuck, the 42, has just made a blunder through the Le Mans chicane. That was very deep under braking. We'll see if we can get it here. Comes in off of turn number 4 and I think maybe a little bit of road hypnosis. Misses the braking point and goes very, very deep. We'll see it here. Hits the brakes, misses it completely, and just rolls it to the second apex. Manages to not cause too much chaos, but has Nick Love in the number 3 come, or 647 rather, come flying by. But painful stuff there for Kyle Schuck.
Well, it's a strategy backflip from these boys as they're in a second time to put slick tyres on the car. Race leader SimCity Racing come in. Beats looks like he's getting out and Ryan Puchtel's getting back in after 26 laps for Beats. Did you notice anything weird for the 48? I'm also seeing some odd pit something from them. I think they changed drivers and flickered and confused my timing.
Yeah, I think they changed drivers only. And the connection looks a little unstable. So I'm seeing them appear, disappear, but they are still leading as far as I can tell.
Your connection to the server also a tiny bit of packet loss, or is it my long range down under internet?
No, it's been a little spotty today. I'm not sure if, we get a tech guy in the broadcast booth, so he'll tell us what's going on, I'm sure. But, Aaron Myers had an issue going into the first of the horseshoes. We'll see on entry here. He just kind of drifts a little wide to the left. I don't know if I was just seeing things or... Yeah, you can see him just touch the grass on the outside there and causes him to run wide. So everyone looks like they're struggling a little bit with getting the tires up to temp and maybe with a little bit of focus at this point in the race.
Let's go before the draw, not waste our competitors' time and speak to Cameron Sennhauser about a very important issue. And he joins us now from Project Save the Stang, Cameron Sennhauser. Can you tell us about this important project?
Hey, yeah, absolutely. I would love to. So the project and the spirit that we're trying to encompass here is really about saving the H pattern shifter. And, the advent of the sequential shifter really made racing faster, but doesn't capture that pure driving enjoyment that comes with, an H pattern in your hand and rolling through the gears. And so the goal here is to really raise awareness that we need to support the Mustang FR 500S and bring it back into reality and really get that stick shift back in iRacing. So that's really what we're trying to do here with this race team.
And what would you say is the biggest hurdle to H pattern preservation? What's the stumbling block?
I think there's some people who have problems with the handling of the Mustang, and it rotates on you pretty quickly, and then while it's rotating, you got to focus on shifting as well. So it can be a challenging car to drive. But there's also been rumors that the new BMW is difficult to drive as well. So, we replaced one and then got rid of another hard to handle car. But, that's one of the hurdles, and just it is slower. You can't deny that. The sequential is quicker, but just it's not the same feel.
So your brother Logan's back in now. How's the race been going?
It's going good. We set out with the main goal to have fun and enjoy ourselves. And that's what we're doing. The Mustang's a ton of fun to drive. It might not be the fastest, like the Porsche. That seemed to be the pick, but we're setting out. We're having fun. Some people are wrecking, unfortunately, so we're gaining positions, but it's going pretty well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Wish you the best of luck, and we'll chat again, if not today, for the other 3 races to come up for the ChampCar iRacing Series endurance season.
Awesome. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Cameron Senhouse on.
And we're still falling. Now, the 8th place car of Alex Crawford. Recovering from that pit decision. Car looks a lot faster with the right tire strapped on it. And it's almost forming into a bit of a battle pack here. We've got the 7th place car of Justin Woods just ahead, and the 9th place car of Logan Senhauser in the Save the Stang vehicle. But the track conditions seem to be a little tricky, but it also seems like the server conditions are getting a little tricky. We're seeing drivers disconnecting and reconnecting, kind of popping in and out. This wasn't the weather I think we envisioned when we saw the forecast for today, but it's definitely started to have an impact on a couple of our competitors.
Let's get to that prize draw we promised, and as we look to the wheel, this is everyone who completed the last 4 races of the individual season. Oh no.
Sorry, Aaron Myers in the 2nd place Porsche just slowed down and pulled off track, and is seeming to regain some speed now, but yeah, has given up 3rd, 4th, and is running in 5th now.
Yeah, let's get to the draw before too much anything else happens, so that we make sure it happens. And it's everyone who had completed the last 4 laps. The names on the wheel: Michael Polasek, Ryan Pucktel, Jared Collins, Tim Wire, Kyle Robertson, Ian Giebler, Matt McGee, Bowie Suin, Logan Senhauser, Orlando Herald, Sean Roberts, Cameron Senhauser, Kevin Glass, Andy Cosick, Brian Tidd, Kevin Collins, and Steve Hermé. So that's a big list. as Aaron Myers is still having just a couple more problems. Here goes the wheel. Oh, it's close, but it's going to stop on Ian Giebler to be the recipient of the prize, Devon.
Yeah, and congrats to Ian Giebler for being the third and final winner from our iRacing Sprint Series. The Sprint Series has 3 participation draws, so show up in races 1 to 4, races 5 to 8, or races 9 to 12, and complete at least 50% of the laps, and you can be entered. And we'll see what that prize looks like next year. Of course, we're very thankful to the ChampCar Endurance Series for letting us host this virtual competition and bring these virtual drivers out to enjoy themselves, to sharpen their skills, and to get connected to the lowest barrier to entry, most direct line to competitive road racing in North America. And, of course, our favorite place to go racing in North America. And we're going to see a replay here. And this looks like the Aaron Myers car. Yeah, as I was saying, just pulls off the track. And leading up to that, Aaron was having a lot of packet issues, connection issues. And so I think he may have been kind of pulling out of the way to try and avoid causing any issues. He's since seems to have cleared up some of those issues and is now running in 4th place. 5th, actually, on my timing screen, having just let Zach Rubin in the Zach's Hitman Emporium. And the fog's starting to set in, David.
You cannot escape the fog.
Oh, and Ruben.
Curbs.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on for Ruben. That car is not behaving well, and it doesn't look like a packet issue anymore. I'm wondering if there's a hardware issue on his end as well.
I've got to imagine there's ongoing problems for Aaron Myers here. Is he heading to pit entry? I think he is in the 48. Somewhere behind those ladies, whose hair looks suspiciously untussled by the fact that there is 20 knots of wind coming from the northwest. Blow my hair around. So just 7 laps in the car, and Aaron Myers is chasing the Delta back. Can hardly even find his pit stall with the problems going on.
Yeah, and I've just double checked with the team there, and it is confirmed it's packet issues, so connection issues that are leading them to take this pit stop. So off schedule, Lincoln Fox going back in the car, and hopefully going to resolve their issues.
So we keep an eye on that. Let's speak to Kyle Robertson from Drive Trainer Motorsport, who've got 3 cars in this race. Hello, Kyle.
How's it going?
Good. I think this is the first time I've ever heard your voice. How's it going for Drive Trainer Motorsport at the moment? And you're being in the number 23 car in second.
Yeah, it's was going, I guess, well for the 23 car. We have the 8 car who's doing pretty well too, and then we have our 42 car. But things going pretty well so far. We're just at this point kind of maybe hoping for a caution or something to punch us back up, because Ryan is flying out there. But can't be upset with second right now, and it looks like our 8 car is trying to fly back up through the pack at some pretty good pace as well.
You had one wave around for the 42, so let's not get too greedy.
Yes. Thank you for that one. What happened there with that caution?
So you had the 42 go into the wall, and then not much later, Lizard Brain's podcast on their outlap with cold tires ended up in the wall, I think, at the bus stop. And on the accumulation of that, we had the caution, and we waved around every car that was off the lead lap that didn't pit under caution.
Oh man, I didn't know 42 into the wall. Oh geez, okay. I thought it was I thought what's the name, DJ let the injury leave. I thought something happened with them. But oh okay. Well, yeah, I mean that I guess bunched us back up, but he still can't catch Ryan. That was they're on a whole nother level right now. And I guess this saw what happened with Lincoln's car. Stuck to see, I guess Aaron's having connection issues, I guess you guys were saying on the broadcast.
Yeah, or a technical problem for them that might also be causing frame stutters or something like that. Yeah. So, in a world of Porsche Caymans, what leads Bowie Suin and Kyle Robertson to pick the big boy Mustang?
You know what's funny is we've been a Porsche team for a really long time for some biased reasons, but I guess sometime last year when the Mercedes came out, we decided to try that out and saw that car just was really good on the tires, and for some reason the Porsche wasn't as much for us anymore. And when the Mustang came out, we drove that, and it seemed to be similar to the Mercedes, except a little bit more America in it, a little more fight. But we just felt like the Mustang keeps its front tires under a bit better than the Porsche. And trust me, it hurts me that we're not driving the Porsche. But I know our team owner Andre, he is a Ford fan, so he's pretty happy with this.
And so, about those tires, what's your feeling? When they're cold and on the warm up, and obviously there was significantly more puddles throughout qualifying and at the start of the race that have cleared up.
Yeah, on the cold tires, I mean, you gotta kind of just know how to manage them. It's, about backing up your corners a bit, being a little more, I guess, softer on your input, just so you can, get the car where you need to get it without understeering or oversteering. But after, I think about, let's say 3 to 4 laps, the tires begin to really get into their own. And for sure, after 6, they're really they're ready to go. The puddles at the beginning definitely threw a nice little curveball in there, because they were all in the worst spot. They were on the apexes, on the exits, on the exit onto NASCAR 1. It was definitely something to deal with, but it was nice that we had so many cars driving around that it kind of got rid of the puddles a bit faster.
So, starting here at Daytona, VIR, Sebring, Road America still to come. What other tracks do you think your drivers and teammates are looking forward to?
I know we're for sure looking forward to a VIR, and Sebring is our other home track since we're based out of Florida. I'm not sure if we're looking forward to Road America too much, but I know VIR for sure. Unfortunately, I have to miss the VIR race. I know we'll still be out there with multiple cars. But yeah, I know that's going to be a pretty fun one, and looking forward to trying to get one of our cars up to the top step, try and get some champ bucks.
Awesome. Best of luck. Thanks for chatting.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys.
Kyle Robertson from Drive Trainer Motorsports, and specifically from Drive Trainer Motorsport Carbon. His teammate Bowie Suin has been closed by Jack Simpson of late. So that's what we see on track here, second and third. And as I look at the numbers, Ryan Puxel in the lead, the fastest driver last lap. And in the 154s for both of these. Zach's Hitman Emporium closing back up a tiny bit as well. The backflip boys, once they're on the right tyres, are also racing minute 53s. So there's a lot of cars that I think still stand a chance.
Yeah, lots to do yet. I do also have a critical report here from the timing screens. You see that red 2430 esports car? That's our top running Canadian in the race.
Fantastic. I was noticing one of the other Drive Trainer Motorsports drivers was flying the flag of St. Kitts and Nevis, which is the smallest country to ever hold a match of the Cricket World Cup.
Truly an international crowd we got here.
These kind of facts you only get from David Haynes. St. Kitts and Nevis, officially the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It's an island country with approximately 48,000 inhabitants. ...101 square miles. That might be smaller than Denver Airport. Oh, yep, this is second and third.
That gap was smaller than Denver Airport, but Jack Simpson was still ready to go up the inside of it.
Of course, the difference is that Denver Airport has a blue Mustang, whereas most of our Mustangs here are green.
Get a feel for the banking as Jack is in the wheel tracks of the Mustang towards the chicane this time.
It's the gyroscopic camera. Works much better than Formula One's. Have you noticed how susceptible that thing is to G-forces? It like tilts over and you're like, no, the road's still flat. They're just cornering. You're not measuring correctly. Got a hint of a nose to the inside against the apron.
Beautiful.
And I think that'll probably just about do it. It's the short way around. Then you get the side draft. Then you got the inside for turn one. Multiple people have told me that under caution here at Daytona, that banking makes you feel like you're about to fall out of the driver's window of the car. At speed, it's okay.
A little bit of lift and coast there from the Drive Trainer Motorsports carbon car on the outside. I think they might have been able to hold it into turn one if they hadn't, but Jack Simpson with the inside line is able to take it. And that's the I think that's the last step on the podium. Oh no, on the exit gets it wrong. Sorry, this is the fight for second place, actually.
Yes, sir, it is. Love Racing 647 stops. 20 laps since Nick Love last got in. Remembering that Nick Love is Nicholas Love 3 and Tom Love is Nick Love 4. And so when we see Nicholas Love 4, we know that's Thomas. Just over an hour to go.
Yeah, and the radar screens are starting to light up a little bit. I think before the end of this race, we might see a little bit of drizzle on the track.
Oh my, yes, not just the forecast, but on the radar. You're right. You can feel it in the air when you look around the track. You look at those flags at the International Horseshoe blustering. Oh, Australian flag's there. So's the flag of Luxembourg, though. So there's a lot of flags.
Now, I've been watching Logan Sennhauser in that beautiful purple and white Mustang, must be said. And I've noticed that that beautiful purple and white Mustang is disappearing once in a while. So I'm wondering if maybe some of the same internet connection issues that were plaguing Aaron Myers are affecting his neck of the woods too. Either way,
conversely, mine have gotten good. So I don't know what's happening there.
I'm going to blame all of the tech companies today. That's my chosen blame.
Yeah. Do you blame the state-owned Singtel network of Singapore, owned by the Singaporean government?
Okay. Well, I haven't seen any Singaporean flags on the grid today, but we may have to revise that once we check.
Good food.
David Haynes, very deeply embedded in the Southeast Asian racing scene at this point.
Yep. And anyone who watched Crazy Rich Asians, every food scene in Singapore makes me hungry. I like how that movie's like 2.5 hours long, only needed to be an hour and a half, but they just put in sort of like 30 minutes of almost like documentary footage of night food markets and all of that in Singapore. Fuyo.
As a man allergic to fish, David Haynes, I have to tell you, I wouldn't eat a single thing.
So weak. Why are you so weak? Hiya, Devon Peters.
So
Well, it's a good thing you're landlocked because that'll keep you safe.
Yeah, it's real hard for a fish to jump out of a boat up here, especially because all the lakes are frozen.
One day I'd like to ice skate on a frozen lake, though, or a frozen river.
Oh, it is quite good, my friend. Quite good.
All of our ice skating rinks are quite small, and while I enjoy it, it's the point where I wish I could just point in one direction rather than feel like I'm swimming in a bathtub.
If you
skate out into an open lake and yeah.
If you come up to Winnipeg, you can hop on the Red River skate trails and skate 10, 15, 20 kilometers following the river.
Tom Love, cold tires, Porsche Cayman, story as old as time.
Oh,
backwards, rolls into the infields. Let's second, third through.
It has another little issue at the second horseshoe as well. Slid off the track there, so cold tires catching him out thoroughly. 69 Fahrenheit though. Those tires are cold as ice. I think that one was too easy for David Haynes. I think it was too easy. He wasn't willing to do it. Haynes, noted foreigner, does not choose to go along with that. Our producer, though, has gone with that, and it's making it very difficult to commentate. Anyways.
Yeah, that's him in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So two car battles, but there's a lot of strategy also playing out here inside the final hour of the ChampCar iRacing 3 hours of Daytona. There are some cars that are going to need one more stop. There are some cars that we think are still going to need 2 more stops. So Balthazar, for example, here might need 2 more stops. 2430 up there might need 2 more stops. Thinking that SimCity Racing, leading the race, are aiming to make this on 1 more stop. It all dates back to the extra little splash of fuel they put in this Porsche Cayman under the first and yet so far only caution safety car period of this race. They gave up a bunch of track position. They put an extra more gallon or 2 in, and it might just take them far enough to only need 1 more stop in this race.
That first turn is seemingly catching people out. I don't know if the fast line is getting as wide as possible out there, but I've seen a few people just coming past the stands and heading deep into turn 1. Our leader shows us what I think is probably the fastest line. Ryan Puckdell behind the wheel of the SimCity Racing car. And making it work. And if anyone else is having handling issues, I think you got to go knock on the door at the SimCity garage, because they seem to have that Porsche pointing very nicely around the corners.
Wide through one again. You mentioned it, Bowie Stewart having problems. Yeah. So that thing just didn't stop at turn 1. he's reasonable distance behind it. It's like not stopping, front not turning into some of the dirtier part of the racetrack on turn 1. A bit of time lost.
Yeah, and shady, track temps dropping, winds blowing out there, almost 20 mile an hour wind, 15, 20 mile an hour wind. And almost a straight tailwind, I think, going into turn number 1. So I think it's just kind of catching everyone out right now.
Logan Sennhauser gets caught out. Justin Woods dives down the inside. Sennhauser tries to cross back, but I think this all stems to perhaps the technical issues that Logan Sennhauser was having for a brief moment that tempted Justin Woods to get down the inside. Now he's being oh so cautious at the international hairpin as Sennhauser appears to be more stable than before. His 7th and 8th Project Save the Stang. We heard from his brother Cameron Sennhauser. Balthazar got Justin Woods driving at the moment. Actually, we forgot to ask about what kind of a technical setup they were doing, because some of the previous team endurance races, they were both at the same house, but one of the other, whichever brother's house that it wasn't, had brought their PC over, and so they had one seat, one sim rig and wheel, and on either side of it they had 2 computer towers running, and at the pit stop they would unplug the monitor from one PC and plug it into the other. So there were 2 instances of iRacing running on 2 computers, but only one sim rig, and they would swap one to the other. More drama down at turn 1.
Yeah.
Alex Coffard makes a dive on some traffic, I think, here. Yeah, he doesn't want to hang around behind Tom Love.
He makes a dive here that'll scare you. Whew. Hope you had your coffee this morning. Boy, oh boy. I don't know if we can get a slow-mo of how close that bumper and tail were, but that was impressive. See.
We've had a backflip already. Here. This was nearly a forward tumble.
Yeah, but Coffert not shy. He might even be the one who's able.
No one's ever called him shy.
Yeah, and not shy about taking the racing line there.
Alaska's 3rd greatest export after crabs. And those videos on the internet where they drive cars off the cliff on July 4th.
Yes.
Oh, actually, salmon's pretty good too. For me, apparently not for you.
Hey, I'm not... I like the taste of fish. It just causes an anaphylactic reaction shortly afterwards. So, the cost isn't worth it. Bill Woods in the Balthazar Motorworks car, hopping into that car for what? Oh, it would be a bit of a stretch to call it the final stint, but it's close.
I think strategy goes out the window with the rain that's coming, to be honest. We're talking about, is it 2 more stops? Is it 1 more stop? I think if that rain is about 20 minutes away, everyone stops with it. Track temps come down, air temps come down. The fogs come up. Well, it's not quite fog. It's just that haze that hangs Florida in the air.
Yeah.
On a humid day, coming off of the swamp, all of the alligator farts at 95% humidity. Are you allergic to eating alligator?
I haven't tried yet, and they didn't have a poke for that on the Saskatchewan allergy test.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've eaten crocodile at least a couple times, and it's not fish, it's reptile, so
Yeah, I figure I'd be fine. And I figure you're probably accidentally eating crocodiles over there.
I mean, it's chicken, so
Yeah.
if you can eat chicken, I reckon you can eat alligator and crocodile. Is that
We got one
entry?
of our... Yeah, that's the
2430.
2430 car of Jack Simpson, Esport, 2430 Esport running it. I can confirm, David Haynes, I've checked now with the team. 2430 is a reference to the team's owner's driving numbers. So not a 24/7 reference. They are allowed to race every day of the month, and they're happy to be here.
Jack Simpson out. Sebastian Day in.
Yeah, hopping in. Looks like
Sand through an hourglass.
it could be the wait to finish that one. The third place car,
These are the days of our drives.
Zachary Rubin, is putting in a quick one this time. Feeling like maybe they need to push a little bit. Starting to get closer to Bowie Suin, I think. On my count, about 2 seconds back of Bowie.
Project Save the Stang is in just as 2430 leave. Pit lane becomes a slightly busier place. There is the Mustang Logan out, Cameron in.
Now, it will be interesting to see Puchtel's filter to the front and is holding that pretty convincingly, about 30 seconds up the road.
I think he's got that on net now as well, because at the last pit stop phase where he ran longer, he's basically overcut everyone. He was only 2 seconds behind the leaders and then basically overcut them.
Well, and I'm wondering if this strategy is going to work out for him as well, because we're watching Bowie Suin now. But if with the overcut, might be able to get a little closer to the rain. I wonder if we'll see them able to make a later decision on the tires than the other folks, who might have to come back in for tires at the end. We'll have to see how it plays out anyway. I am notoriously wrong when it comes to these sorts of strategy calls. Basically my specialty. For those who don't have the timing screen up, not going to be too informative for you right now, but we're in the middle of a pit cycle. We'll have to see what it ends up being on net. We got now Caden Parks Miller hopping in behind the wheel of the Drive Trainer Motorsports car. And Caden started the race, gave a stint to LaShawn Young-Dilworth, and team hyphenated names. It's carrying on. And we've got a little battle forming up here.
Yeah, so between Ruben and Day, there's 1 lap difference of tyre temperature advantage to Sebastian Day, so Ruben needs to be very careful. Cameron Stenhauser, on his cold tyres, has had a problem at the bus stop chicane. He's managed to clear the slowdown penalty and seems to be still rolling. So, yeah, cold tyres, very, very fraught. The track's gotten colder, so I suspect it's probably become even more difficult in the tyre warm-up phase, and now it becomes crunch time for Zachary Rubin. How deep are you willing to break if you don't have the tyre temperature yet? Sebastian Day has a little bit more, looks to the inside, but blinks first. Oh, wow. Rubin's very lucky to hold on to that one under that kind of pressure. On the outlap, just behind them is Lincoln Fox. Last stopped 13 laps ago for chasing the Delta. I got that right? Yep, and closing in now when the two cars battling in front are on their cold tyres.
Yeah.
Dale have another look towards turn one, I suspect. The longer this goes on, the more tyre temperature and confidence Ruben will have, though, for Zach's Hitman Emporium, the Castrol colours.
One. Tough to say exactly, but this is effectively the battle for net second, I think, or net third. Depend on where Bowie Suin comes out, I guess, in the drivetrainer car.
Yeah, it's all bets off in a clean slate, I think, when the rain arrives, which looks to be about 10 minutes away light, 15 minutes away till it becomes heavy enough that you have to make the tyre change. International Horseshoe, tight line from Ruben. Washes a tiny bit wide. Tom Love is the lapped traffic just up ahead. They're still both being caught by Lincoln Fox. In a dramatic role reversal, the Fox is doing the hunting. Bowie Suin pits from second place after 22 laps with a predicted 24 to go, but also a predicted big shake of the barrel of monkeys with rain on the radar and approaching Daytona International Speedway. Ruben and Day both go past Tom Love, and Lincoln Fox wants some of that as well, but the door closes in the bus stop.
Oh, and that's tough. And it was tough, I think, on everyone involved. Tom Love getting a little wide on the entry and tagged the wall briefly on the way in, which will give Lincoln Fox quite a shower of sparks and a little bit of excitement there. Lincoln makes his way past, having lost a little bit of time. But don't worry, there's plenty of time to be made up. Kyle Robertson, meanwhile, entering the Drivetrainer Motorsports Carbon car, now replacing Bowie Suin, and he'll be exiting the pit lane as the cars we've been watching come around the outside. So this will be fifth place for Kyle Robertson once it all shakes out. See.
Just trying to keep an eye on the pit lane speed limit to see. I think they do need to slow down a little bit in that exit. Tight as it is, 55 miles an hour is too fast. Coffard up the road. Ryan Pucktel as well. Third and fourth right now is these cars. Lincoln Fox losing that time with the lap traffic, regrettably. Fifth. Kyle Robertson fueled up and in sixth. Ahead of Caden Parks Miller in seventh. Balthazar Motorworks eighth. Project Save the Stang in ninth. And Slowed Expectations in 10th. 13 GT4s took the race start. Our only retirement has been Lizard Brains Podcast.
They got to be bummed out about that mistake. They would, I think, be pushing for the lead if things had carried on. But, you know, that's why we run the race. We don't just run the qualifying.
When you think the way that the championship is factored, there's actually a lot of benefit to doing 50% of the race distance as a minimum. Backflip boys are in. What tyres go on the number 17, seeing that there is rain 10 minutes away? If they put wet tyres on now, it actually wouldn't look near as silly as it did 23 laps ago.
It is a good question. There's gonna be some water. Have to see. Now, Haynes, is this the elusive none tire stop?
Well, it's smart because then you don't have to deal with tyre warm-up, and if you expect to be pitting again in 5 or 10 laps time to put wet tyres on, you're not going to get the benefit from a new set of slick tyres. You're only going to get the danger and jeopardy of a cold set of slicks. So yeah, maybe that's the go.
We'll see if the leader takes any notes, because Ryan Pucktel in the SimCity racing cars hit the lane as well, and looks like he's getting out. And Chris Beats is hopping back in. And do we see that car going up on jacks? I can't tell.
We do. It is. That's not the normal ride height of a Porsche Cayman. That's extra. It's up. Unlimited tyre sets as well. So it's just a purely what do you want decision. but I've got the Michelin Motorsports 2025 pricing bulletin off the IMSA website. And for Michelin Pilot Challenge GS class, Michelin Pilot Sport GT S9M Plus tires are $730 each.
Do you think they get a sponsorship discount on that? That might already be factored in.
Basically $2,500 for a set of Michelin slick tires. How much are the wet tires?
Well, looks like we won't be finding out for a bit because
no, they're also
strapped on just yet.
They're also $730 a piece.
Okay.
Before relevant local and state taxes, based on what racetrack you get the tires fitted at, what are the state and local taxes relevant to be collected by Michelin Motorsport? So it's the southeast that the band of rain is coming from. That means Speedway 1 and 2 first.
What are we seeing here? We've got Halsey going and having some troubles, and this is the second international horseshoe, and not the first time we've seen Halsey out there. Keeps it off the wall this time, but getting even just a little bit offline with those cold tires is biting once again.
Actually, it's the back straight and the bus stop that will probably get sprinkles of rain first and soon.
That's a scary spot to have it sneak up on you as you're heading down into that braking zone at the Le Mans chicane for the first time, and it's a little wet.
Tom Love also encountering a slowdown somewhere. The Cayman's leaping across the curbs at the bus stop. Oh, yeah, maybe things are getting slippery at that Western Horseshoe. Oh, even out of turn 6. Now, not the first driver we've seen do that, but it's a very, very late and lazy slide.
Yeah, it's tricky out there already with how cold it is. And I think that might have just been the transition catching Tom out there. And we got our first pit taker in a bit. That's Lincoln Fox chasing the Delta Sargento BMW car. It's still a Porsche, but Lincoln Fox.
Just 18 laps. So is this tyre strategic from Fox, or did they short fill that car at the last stop?
Good question.
Look at those flags going crazy now as the rain approaches. I think we need to see the car come down off the jacks from Lincoln Fox before it tells us what tyres are or haven't been fitted. It says new slicks for Fox. Wow.
Ooh. So committing.
Speed. Oh, brake lights come on in the pit lane before the exit of the pit lane speed limit. At the green cones, it ends and you can accelerate, but Fox on cold tyres couldn't take that corner at 55 miles an hour in the pit exit.
It's positively dark out here. I think if I had the lights bound, I'd be turning them on.
So this is tight in a tussle for the podium. Zachary Rubin and Sebastian Day.
Zach staying a lot more off the curbs than Day is. Might be some of that karting heritage working there. For Day, just jumping curbs like a madman.
Lots of things to consider and play for in this first of 4 ChampCar iRacing Series team endurance races. Today's winner takes prize money in the form of ChampCar bucks that they can put towards their next race.
I see rain.
But also, with 3 more races to come and a championship decider. It's your best 2 results added together plus the finale that matter. So a podium is very, very important, and it's raining at the International Horseshoe. It's raining at the bus stop. Not quite everywhere, not quite heavy yet, but water is falling from the sky. Zachary Rubin fends off Sebastian Day. The drivetrain and motorsport teammates almost look like they engineer a switch back there in 4th and 5th. Down the inside comes Kyle Robertson on his teammate. Number 1 rule, Devon.
Don't wreck your teammate. Especially if you're going to have to fix his car afterwards.
Yeah, don't do it. Kyle Robertson gets past Caden Parks Miller as they went side by side through the Western Horseshoe. Robertson on the inside line moved ahead, so obviously not wet enough to take the around the outside karting line just yet. Well, you can see the rain falling. It is still very light, and then it takes a while for it to soak and saturate the racetrack and make much difference. Your leader has just completed a lap in 1:53.4. They are hardly affected yet by the rain, but we'll keep an eye on the lap times and see when they begin to drop. And then once you're slower than about 2 minutes, 2 minutes 2, I think you need to move to wets. Not sure exactly at this point what the crossover time is. We haven't seen anyone racing in the wet on wet tires yet.
Yeah, Chris Beats had the first opportunity from the lead to dive into pit lane, but drove straight past it, foot to the floor, not a jink in that direction. And we'll see how this timing works out. I imagine that with the rain coming from the direction it has, the chicane will be a good indicator of when it's time. Lincoln Fox goes through the chicane this time, and it looks pretty clean and clear. We're watching in the infield right now. This is Zach Rubin and Sebastian Day, 2nd and 3rd. And squabbling a bit are they, as well as the Drivetrain and Motorsports. I think that's Carbon and Emerald that are running 4th and 5th. And just critically about 10 seconds gap between these packs, even less than that, maybe 5 seconds. And we'll see if that 5 seconds is enough to change someone's mind. Who jumps first? Does anyone? Cameron Sennhauser through the chicane this time, looking real slow.
Yeah, there's a couple of drivers I think are seeing the spits of rain, and psychologically it's cost them lap time before the grip has actually left the racetrack. So Cameron Sennhauser being tentative, Norris Halsey dropping some time and being tentative, Tom Love similarly a couple of seconds a lap away from what they were doing before, just on the basis of visually seeing, hang on, do I need to be cautious here as a tiny bit of rain falls. It's little spits, it's not everywhere completely on the track yet, but it's the beginning of a little bit of an intensity of rain.
30 minutes left on the clock. And clouds as far as the eyes can see. And starting to see the surface of the track just looking a little wet.
Yeah, track temperature has taken the dive. That's the first thing that happens. A little bit of water falls. It gets evaporated by the heat of the racetrack until the pavement reaches ambient temperature, which it has now. So you'll begin to continue to see grip go away.
Lincoln Fox that time through the Le Mans chicane jumped the curb a little bit, but looked very squirrely as he was bringing it back. He'll carry on past the pit lane entrance though, so it's not time yet.
Cameron Sennhauser wide out of 6, where we've seen a few cars spin, putting the power down, coming out onto the speedway. Aaron Reed less affected by the conditions right now in the slowered expectations Porsche Cayman. Disappears almost completely behind Sennhauser, looks to the inside. Sennhauser brakes first. From that tight line, can you still make the bus stop chicane in good form?
We've got one taker. Nick Love, Tom Love is on the pit lane. Decided it's time for wets, and if the tires are free, You know, why not?
Yeah, instead of $3,000 a set, which is actually the maths I should have done when I got it wrong earlier, but you never do numbers live on air. Having a microphone that's live in front of your face takes about 50 IQ away. So that is wet tyres going on for Tom Love. He'll be the only car right now on grooved tyres, and it will become the right choice in the next 5 minutes. I'm not sure from a lap time perspective it's the right choice just yet, but I would never call that a foolish decision.
The leaders are still running 53s. Last time by was a 53 flat for Chris Beats. The sectors this time look a little bit more mundane, I would say, but still not at that 2 minute kind of crossover that you were talking about. We've got the original Nick Love, the third in the car, now for Love Racing. Zach.
Are they losing time now to the drive trainer cars behind? You can see the green machines just in the distance, and Kyle Robertson had his foot down, caught these two Caymans by a couple of tenths last lap. He's back here. Is the front-engined rear-wheel drive Mustang the car to have in low grip conditions if the mid-engine Porsche becomes a bit too squirrely and doesn't offer confidence? Ooh. Ruben missing a bit of confidence just ahead there as two massive hits on the curb. See Sebastian Day get alongside him, exiting the bus stop chicane. 2430 Esports are up into second place.
Credit to Ruben for leaving the space, but he left exactly one Porsche width. And yeah, that was a little bit sketchy. We'll see a replay of it here. Ruben is watching the curbs a little too closely, jumps him twice, and Day is going to get the run on the exit. They're now too wide going into turn one, and Ruben is trying to make the outside line work, but it's not. Day parks it on the apex, and Ruben is right behind, has nowhere to go, nowhere with grip at least. And the times are starting to slow down. 54s for most of our top five last time by. But where's the crossover? Who blinks first? 25 minutes to go.
Great traction from the tight line, exiting the first hairpin side by side, headed towards the kink. Where's the grip? Where are the puddles beginning to form? As the rain gets more intense, starting to see spray come off the tyres on what were previously dry parts of the racetrack. That's the sign you're looking for, is to start seeing spray coming off the wheels. And I did, just as they were exiting the kink there. One of the places that should be getting wetter faster than, say, turn 1 or turn 6. It's here that should also be wet, but I think the nature of the banking actually will keep it dry a tiny bit longer. The water rolls off, it presents less surface area. I think it also holds a little bit more heat. Bit of spray here, where I would have expected to have seen it. Race leader has now lost about a second per lap in time.
It was Sebastian's turn to take a lot of curb on the entry into Le Mans chicane that time. Whole rear end of the car jumping up in the air. The leader goes past the pit lane about 10 seconds ago, and our second and third place cars will be making their choice as they get to the decision line up here.
Headlights are on the race cars. It's 10 to 6 p.m. So based on the time.
And Sennhauser's hitting the pit lane, but our leaders are staying out.
And now back down the inside goes Zachary Ruben at turn 1. They're sliding around more. They just completed a minute 56, 4 seconds away from their personal bests. Ruben, listening to a bit of glycerin, will not let the days go by. But we are halfway to the crossover point, I think. And it's becoming treacherous enough that you might go wet tyres just to save yourself and avoid risk.
It's a minute and a half. Almost. You got to think it's about a minute and a half if you go in, right?
Speeding on pit lane for chasing the Delta, Lincoln Fox. That's going to cost, more than half a minute. Following in Alex Coffard, he gets his second set of wet tires for the day.
Ooh. And our leader's hitting the lane.
Here comes SimCity Racing. What about Ruben and Day, second and third? Surely they think it's time now as well. They're a bit further back around Zach's Hitman Emporium and 2430 Esports. Backflip boys are back out on track, and you will make it to the end on fuel if you stop now. So no questions, no problems with that there. Balthazar Motorworks in to get wet tires too. Dropping down off the jacks there, and just about ready to go was Lincoln Fox, who's now just waiting on that penalty for speeding in pit lane. So being held an extra 40 seconds. The tyre change is done, the fueling change is done. Fox is serving the penalty from speeding on pit entry. Everyone who's on slick tyres is now in the lane in search of a set of grooved, wet tyres as the rain falls at Daytona with 23 minutes left.
Now, as I look at the radar, I do see a couple holes up ahead, but there might be enough water on the surface that it doesn't matter for these guys. Doesn't look like anyone's going to try and brave it at this point, seeing wet tires going on everything. Lincoln Fox with that penalty. Unfortunately, the early move to wets isn't going to pay off for them. Chris Beats is out on the wets, going through the infield now for the first time as well. We're watching.
Penalties cost chasing the Delta one position to Balthazar Motorworks.
Haynes.
Neck and neck. Second and third exiting the pit lane.
One of those cars doesn't have wet tires on it, though.
There's no way that Sebastian Day has pitted and accidentally put slicks on. Keep an eye on the 24 then. Like I said, got to trust what I see on the screen. Mm-hmm. And it looks like it's handling the same as the other cars, doesn't it?
Right now it is. And I don't see more rain falling, but so it's tough. But yeah, not a drop from the sky.
Oh, now they're off at the hairpin. Slow, lazy spin at the Western Horseshoe for Sebastian Day. That's third place going past Kyle Robertson in the Drivetrainer Motorsports Mustang 23. Goes ahead and into a podium spot.
The track's still plenty wet, but there's not a drop falling from the sky right now. So which of these
spray?
I was to say there's spray, but which of these drivers gonna, navigate these conditions the best? Easy to get overconfident. Yeah. Oh,
hazard. Caden Parks Miller's going to get fourth here. The next drivetrainer car, the BMW high line on the speedway after Sebastian Day's taken a nasty ride through the bus stop chicane. Dead level. Do you know what? If the 2430 is on slick tires, they'll win a drag race.
Yeah,
hang
that's
on.
True. I don't think they'll win a braking race, though. I hope that Cade knows that. Oh boy, that's deep. That's very deep for Sebastian Day, but he keeps it on the track.
Mamma mia. This is sketchy for Sebastian Day. I'm changing my mind. That might not be wet tires on that car. And it might not be the wrong decision, though.
Yeah.
Ooh.
There's just a little gap in the rain. It looks like we're going to have 2 storm cells, one going north of the track and one going south of the track. And we might not have more rainfall until the end of the race here. So they're paying the price right now, but, you know, it's not a sure thing that this works out for those on wets.
The penalty in the pit lane, Lincoln Fox, back down to 8th for chasing the Delta, is now chasing the Balthazar Motorworks. And I don't know how much Fox has closed this lap, but it feels like it might be a second or more. We're about to get flying laps post that flurry of pit stops now from cars throughout the field. So a 2-minute flat from SimCity Racing leading the way. 2-minute 2 from Bill Woods. 2-minute 00.8 for Fox. 1.3 seconds quicker. Down the inside, the horseshoe. 7th place at play. Chasing the Delta. Look like they get ahead, but the tight line exiting that horseshoe has so much traction for Balthazar Motorworks. Splashing through the puddle at the apex of the kink for Lincoln Fox. Now around the outside of the western horseshoe. Just using a little bit of extra road to try to stay on the pavement. This is great driving from Bill Woods. He's found the grip in the right places as he's battled wheel to wheel.
That's a guy who knows where the wet line is. Might have used it a little too much there.
Yeah, not quite working at turn 6. 2-minute 4.8 from Sebastian Day. So losing time to everyone else around in the top 8 who are between the 2-minute 0, 2-minute 2.
Must be said, gain time on one of the cars ahead in the first sector. A little bit of water falling now. I'm not sure it's going to work out. It's going to be tough on him. Even through my Canadian bias, I can see that. Yeah,
Woods has a slowdown. And where has he gotten that? Through the bus stop, trying to chase Lincoln Fox. Fox will now pull a bit further ahead. Fastest car on track's your race leader, Chris Beats in the SimCity Racing 71. They are entering the kink on the infield. Kicking up spray, breaking off the normal racing line. So taking the alternative lines in search of grip, particularly in the braking for the horseshoe there. Not so much for turn 6, that's more conventional.
$15 minutes left. 16. And both drivetrainer cars go really deep that time. Kyle Robertson way out in the marbles, and that's actually the Ivory team car of Kyle Schuck that I observed going real wide. Caden Parks Miller is going to have to find his way past the team car here. We're just getting different little bits of rain spitting down on the circuit.
Yeah, just a minute band of rain going through right now. So for just the next lap, you can see it.
That might have been enough though. Sebastian Day ran the painted outside line of the second horseshoe there. And I'm not sure that this is going to pan out if it's going to rain like that for even another minute.
Yeah, I'm willing to call it. This is the only car on slick tires right now. It's costing them a couple of seconds a lap. It's also probably costing them some grey hairs and a couple of miles on the old heart rate as well.
If they can survive this splash, then they might be scot-free on new rain until the end of the race. But there's enough water down on track. I'm not sure it's going to matter for them.
Yeah, because the track can get wet very quickly, in a thunderstorm, but the track cannot dry out very quickly. So even if it stopped raining now with 14 minutes to go, the track's not going to dry rapidly. The track can get wet quicker than it can get dry.
Yeah, not a hot day out either.
As anyone who's ever jumped into a swimming pool will know.
Yeah, not a hot day out there, so that water's not going to come off easily. Watching another battle here. This is the Lincoln Fox piloted chasing the Delta Sargento BMW Motorsports entry with Bill Woods of the Balthazar Motorworks car behind him. We're following Lincoln Fox through turn number 4 here. You can still see a little bit of that spray.
Some water must have gotten into our trackside microphones or our producers.
Yeah. The battle carries on, though, down to 12 minutes or about how many laps are we figuring, Haynes? Around 6 laps?
Yeah, the numbers have gotten easier to do, even though we've already established I'm not good at them, by the fact that the lap times have gone from underneath 2 minutes to about 2 minutes flat. So, under 12 minutes, crossing the start-finish line, 6 laps to go. But that's pitting in for Sebastian Day. They are looking for wet tyres. They don't think the track's going to dry up. Apparently, encountered some problems fitting the wet tyres that they wanted and didn't get.
Yeah, hearing from them that was a mistake or an issue with the game, not allowing them to select the correct tires.
I think Backflip Boys may have had the reverse issue earlier on.
Yep. First race of the season, always a few bugs and kinks to work out. Either way, that makes the tire question moot. And so now it's just a track position question. And the one with the track position is the same one that has had the track position for a little bit. Chris Beats in that number 71 SimCity Racing entry. Looking very comfortable out in the lead. And we've got probably the closest battle on track for position right now between Kyle Robertson leading with
where Day
Parks
exits
Miller.
Is going to be the closest battle on track.
Oh, yeah.
Right in front of Lincoln Fox and Bill Woods. The wet tyres now fitted, but are cold versus Fox.
This will be interesting. The two had
sixth.
pace at the start of the race.
Bill Woods also with a bit of tyre temperature there compared to 2430 Esports. Traction out of turn 6 is always critical. Using all the road and then some up towards the wall, tracking out goes Day. Oof, those curbs are brutal. Goodbye to whoever's departing on that flight out of Daytona Beach right now. It's Delta, so they're probably going to Atlanta.
And after that pit stop in the cold tires, Sebastian Day is about 2 seconds back of Lincoln Fox, and about you can see it here, 2/10 back or ahead of Bill Woods. Woods taking the inside line. He's going to get the run here on the exit, nicely executed, and carries enough momentum to clear Sebastian Day. So Sebastian on the tire choice now. The 24-30 guys have fallen from a podium finish all the way down to 7th place with just under 10 minutes to go. And unlike the sprint series where you get a few different drop weeks, the finishes in this series matter a lot, with us using a modified version of the ChampCar Real World Series point system. First place gets 1 point, second place gets 2, etc. It's important to keep those numbers low and to be consistent. You will effectively get 1 drop per week from the first 3 races, but you don't want to be giving up that much leeway if you want to have a shot at the championship.
I think as laps go on for Day here, he'll continue to build temperature into those wet tyres and understanding of how they behave in these conditions. Could come back to them a little bit because they'll end up with the freshest ones at the end. Woods running way up high there. Race leader gets back underneath the 2 minutes margin into a 59.4. Alex Coffard and the Backflip boys there as well. The track is just drying out subtly. But you're going to need to find a lot of time in your back pocket to catch 3rd and 4th. They're 20 seconds ahead of Coffard, and it's this duo here. Kyle Robertson in 3rd and Caden Parks Miller in 4th. Zach Rubin finds a quick lap time as well. Track's getting quicker now that the rain has stopped.
Yeah, and if there had just been a titch less rain, that tire strategy might have worked out for Day, but ultimately too much water on the track, and it never really managed to sort itself out. Another thing that's yet to be sorted out too, I think, is the last step on this podium. Kyle Robertson was holding, and now we've got Sebastian Day. We're looking at them having some issues. Let's see what it is. Looks like Bill Woods ran it a little bit wide, giving the opportunity to Sebastian Day to get a better run up onto the tri-oval. And the two of them are side by side heading down into Le Mans chicane. Bill Woods holding the inside with Sebastian Day taking the spot back, holding the spot rather on the outside. Has to dive it in real deep to do it, though. I think Bill Woods is going to get a better exit, both of them jumping curbs. Bill's going to have a little bit of momentum and a little bit of draft, and that might be enough to get him alongside as they head down through the tri-oval across the start-finish line.
One of the key factors of the wet tires in iRacing is they've got significantly more rolling resistance. They cost you quite a bit of straight line speed. I think they might even emphasize the strength of the slipstream in the wet conditions, not something you necessarily think about. Absolutely against the rear bumper, so close that you're not even driving in the spray because you're ahead of where it flicks up down the inside. Bill Woods gets back ahead of Sebastian Day in a battle going back and forth here.
Yeah, the more I watch Bill Woods, the more I think he's got a lot of experience in this kind of condition. Very comfortable out there. Our podium fight is warming up too. We've got Kyle Robertson and Caden Parks-Miller coming through the tri-oval now.
You reckon any team orders happen?
Nah, I don't think so. 7/10 between them. Less now that they get to the apex. 7/10 was almost exactly what Kyle Robertson lost to Caden Parks-Miller last time around.
Wipers in action on the BMW. Oh, they're close again between Woods and Day. Back straight. Bus stop. Braking in the wet. Slide from Woods. Day in the more white Cayman. Gets another really good exit. 3 minutes on the clock. The race leader up the road has just crossed the start-finish line to give us 2 more laps of Daytona International Speedway road course before we give out $200 of ChampCar prizes to the race winner, and it sets them up very well in this 4-race championship as well. Side by side, 7th and 8th coming down towards turn 1. It'll be just 2 more laps for them as well. Battle continuing to go back and forth between 2430 Esports and Balthazar Motorworks. Hold your breath, heading towards the kink in the infield. Ooh. Big puddle on the inside, a bit more grip around the outside. Western Horseshoe, where's the grip? On the entry, it's on the right-hand side. Through the corner, it's around the outside on the left. But you have to choose one and hold your line when you battle wheel to wheel. White flag soon for the race leader. 2 more times to do this dance for Balthazar Motorworks in 2430. It's on. And the white flag is in hand at the tri-oval of Daytona International Speedway. 1 minute left. Chris Beats to bring the SimCity Racing Cayman home if he can. From Zach's Hitman Emporium, they qualified 6th. They've run the strategy very well. Kept their Cayman mostly clean and running 2nd place at the moment. Drive Trainer with 3 cars in the field have got 3rd and 4th place. I do not know what will happen for 7th and 8th.
Oh, a little deep there from Bill Woods, and Sebastian Days getting the run on the exit of turn 1. Will it be enough this time? It looks like it is to clear. And so Sebastian Days is going to take 7th for now.
For now. It makes the racing just that much more exciting because in the dry, it would all be about the slipstream down towards turn 1. But here, you can battle through the horseshoes. You can battle through the infield. And there's just more at stake. Western Horseshoe for that duo. Then they're battling each other for third and fourth. The drive trainer guys, if you don't mind. And the white flag out, the checkered flag to come soon. All at stake. It's the last real corner of the lap there for your race leader. Plenty more to come between drive trainer here. Diving around the outside, Caden Parks-Miller is going to look for grip all the way around the outside of the horseshoe. The teammates are side by side at the start-finish line. SimCity Racing take 2025's first ChampCar iRacing Series Team Enduro. Taking points and prize money. Ruben in second, still a bit further away. Bill Woods has a slowdown penalty. Sebastian Day, I think, will be able to hold on to that 8th place. Project Save the Stang across the checkered flag, just one lap down, chasing the Delta in 7th. Have I got that right? Maybe not. I think the first car a lap down will actually be some of the other cars. They're side by side for third and fourth. They're about to bang doors into the bus stop. Who's got the exit in the straight line speed, Devon?
Well, you'd think it'd be with the Mustang, but he's picked a big puddle on the exit, and looks like the Emerald car of Caden Parks-Miller has a little bit of a run and a little bit of a draft. It's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line.
Stand back from the fence, but get your camera ready for the final spot on the podium between teammates, the Ford Mustang and the BMW M4. Caden Parks-Miller takes the BMW around the high side, makes some contact, but takes third place from his teammate Kyle Robertson by less than 1/10 of a second. Podium decided on the very, very final lap on the run to the line. A couple of other cars still need to come around and see the checkered flag, like Backflip Boys in 5th, who might have been the last car on the lead lap by some measures. You've also got Slowered Expectations there. And Drivetrain of 42, I think, were one of the last cars to take the checkered flag. They're going to do some slippery burnouts for the fans. So stand back from cars and coffee. Everyone's taken the checkered flag after 3 hours and a little bit of rain at Daytona. 2025's ChampCar iRacing, 3 hours of Daytona is done. And the combination of Ryan Puchtel and Chris Beats in SimCity Racing 71 takes the win. From Zach's Hitman Emporium, Drive Trainer Motorsport Emeralds getting the job done on their carbon teammates on the final lap. That's one to a story to recall a couple times as you knock the froth off a couple of cold ones with your friends. Backflip Boys in 5th, chasing the Delta Academy Sargento BMW Motorsport 6th. 2430 7th, Balthazar Motorworks 8th, Slowered Expectations 9th, Project Save the Stang SRT 10th, Drive Trainer Motorsport Ivory 11th, Love Racing 12th, the last classified finisher. They completed 88 laps of the leaders 91. Lizard Brains podcast retired after just 22. They did not complete half of the race. They are not a classified finisher. It is good to be team endurance racing again with our ChampCar iRacing Series competitors.
We'll have to see. I think we've got the third place team, at least half of it. Caden Parks-Miller, the third place car of Drive Trainer Motorsports Emerald, holding off the team car passing the team car to take third place on the final lap.
How you guys doing?
Doing great. How about you? It's got to feel good to maybe show those Mustang boys a little something with that BMW, eh?
Yeah, I mean, that finish is crazy. It got me going. I mean, I was fighting for it with the wet, rear end coming out, did what I could, and got the position.
tell us a little bit more about your branch of the Drive Trainer Motorsports tree.
So right now I started off in rookie, and now I got brought up to the Emerald team, which is our second highest team. Kyle and Bowie were running on carbon. That's the highest team. So, I just worked for it, got my adrenaline going a little bit, but yeah.
Always feels better when it's the team car that you get to beat, and when you get to do it cleanly. You got a message for the top team?
They had a great race. They kept it clean. Their pit strategies went well. Man, they kept it the way they should. Good for them. Good for them. We thought we were gonna have a closer finish with P2, but he was putting it down in the rain, so not much more we could do.
Caden, who made the decision within the team about when to stop? Because there was a little bit of sprinkling rain, people were staying out, but then yourself, the other drive trainers, there was a real flurry on pit lane, and it was tough for us to work out exactly what kind of a lap time was tire crossover.
So, I think it started sprinkling. We went through about 3 laps. We were gonna stay out for one more, and me and Kyle both almost spun in at the same turn. So, me and Kyle were just following each other, working with each other. So he kind of made the decision. Let's go to wets. So we all went to wets, and it seemed to work out for us. It's about the same. Go ahead.
I was going to say Daytona's a funny track with this, because even in the wet, you can stay flat out on the oval banking. So you look at the lap times, it's like, they're only losing a couple of seconds a lap. Maybe staying with slicks would be the way to go. But then in the just a few corners that there are, you're obviously fighting for your life.
Right. So it was mainly the exit on the NASCAR one. That's where we realized, it was getting a little too wet, getting too slippery. So when we couldn't nail that exit, we made the decision. Let's go in.
Well, congratulations to you. We also offer it up to your teammate in this car, and also the whole team coming together, bringing out 3 cars, big team effort for this team endurance phase of ChampCar iRacing series.
All right, and I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you. Hope to be back next week.
It's 2 weeks, but yeah, practice on Wednesday.
Same difference,
so
right?
It rolls on. It's always race week.
Exactly. Having a fun time. Hope to see you guys again soon.
More of our podium are gonna be joining us, Devin.
Yeah, we got, it looks like Zach Rubin here from our second place finisher, Zach's Hitman Emporium. No sign of the Hitman though, with Zach. Just you, Kevin, can't make it?
No. No, Kevin had to go. He had to get some bagels. I asked him to send me down some, but he does say that our hits were paid out. It looks like DJ was the only one, so I'll be sending him 14 cents here shortly.
Big bounty, and a big race for you folks. It looked like there might be a battle for the top 2 spots there, with Drive Trainer Motorsports. But once that rain hit, you guys seem to just have another little bit.
Yeah, no, the rain just allowed us to keep maintaining that gap. I'm not sure what happened to Sebastian there, but that was gonna be a really fun race if he was still there with us. So all in all, a lot of fun.
Quality stuff from the Hitman Emporium, and a quality first race. Do you think this track was a strength or a strong spot for the Porsche, or do you think that the Porsche is just the car to go with?
Honestly, I haven't been on iRacing in forever, so maybe it is. Of the cars, I think I only have this one in the BMW, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, it was a good first race for you and Kevin. Are you looking forward to any of the other ones we got this season?
I'll have to take a look at the schedule. I'm not gonna lie, we found out about this a couple days ago, I think. So definitely we'll have to look at the calendar, see what's going on.
Well, it was a close call on the top step of the podium, but I think with a little bit of luck, you've got the pace to get there. Thanks for coming out today.
Yep, thank you.
Haynes, you got any side of
winners.
that SimCity team?
Yep. They're both on hand, Chris Beats and Ryan Pucktel from the winning car. Now, you guys qualified pole. Things got a little more shook up in the pack racing early. And then some of your competitors in the top three dropped out or dropped back. And then a 50-second race win looks very nice on the CV to start things.
Yeah, we're quite happy with that, but it's pretty unfortunate what happened to Lincoln Fox's team and Allison Juni. They were both pretty quick in keeping up with us. So yeah, it's a shame that we didn't have a more competitive race towards the end, but we'll take it.
Chris, you were driving at the end when the rain came down. What's the feeling like as far as the track evolving?
It was quite tricky. It wasn't quite full wet and it wasn't quite dry, so we had to take it lap by lap, and we erred on the side of caution when it got to the point of putting on wets. So just to keep that cushion behind us. And yeah, we realized really early on after my spin that the rest of the race is all about attrition, and it worked out.
So this is the perfect start. The way the championship works, your two best results seed you into the final. So perfect seeding so far. How's that?
Feels great. I think what's VIR is the next track, and we're pretty confident that we can get a result there too.
So of the four tracks, Ryan, which one are you most looking forward to? And are you going to be able to do all of them? Daytona, VIR, Road America, and Sebring?
Well, yeah, these are pretty much my favorite tracks here, so it was a great pick for schedule. Sebring is probably the one that I always like the most. Yeah, but pretty much all of them, I can't really say I'm not looking forward to any of them. I think they're all going to be pretty fun.
I think going back to back is going to be tough with some of the other drivers that we've seen.
Yeah, I'm sure that whatever issues that Lincoln Fox's team and Allison Journey had, it probably won't happen again. So hopefully we get some fun racing in the next races.
Thanks so much for joining us. Congratulations again, guys.
Yep, thanks a lot.
Okay, Ryan Pucktel and Chris Beats together, race winners in the number 71. I'm looking for who did how many laps is what I was looking for in the 71. To bring you one final statistic.
David Haynes is doing math on the air, folks, but while he does...
I'm trying to click a button that doesn't want to work to tell me who did how many laps. I mean, I can tell you that Nick Love did 51 and his dad did 37, or some of the other cars, but it won't tell me that for our race leaders. Oh, well, it's not too long till we get our next dose of ChampCar iRacing action. Forum.champcar.org. For our members, all the information's there, or also from the YouTube description. You can find the Discord, all the information in there as well, as far as how to enter the schedule, our prizes on offer. And like we said, there are 4 3-hour races. Your best 2 results from the first 3 seed you into the final, where it's all to play for in the 4th event. So if you joined for the next endurance race, and you won that, you would be on equal footing with SimCity Racing. You could still win the whole lot from next race, or also still be in the running for the race winning prize from each of the races. Never too late to join and race with us in ChampCar iRacing.
And with that, we'll see you folks at the next race, November 15th and we'll be looking forward to another great race and another big field here from our many competitors.
2 weeks' time, Saturday, November 15th at VIR. We'll also be live across ChampCar Live and HJ channels. Myself, David Haynes, Devin Peters, Michael Derby. A delight to be right in the thick of the ChampCar iRacing endurance season once again, and race 1 from Daytona going the way of Sim City Racing. We'll see you next time.